with tapasya does reap benefits?
नहीं सर, मैंने नहीं बनाया, ये मैं क्रेडिट नहीं लूँगा, आपने बनाया है।
तपस्या कैंपस है स्पेसिफिकली जहाँ पे हम खड़े हुए हैं. दिस शुड बी अ वे फॉरवर्ड फॉर एनी एस्पिरेंट.
So I got a bit late because not that I was late here, but I had to spend some minutes in my cabin because of the pollution that disproportionately affects some of us. So some of us get by with it easily. Some of us have a trouble beginning our day, ending our days, and sometimes in the middle of the day. So that is what I wanted to be in a position where I do not need to get in trouble between the class. So I had to take some steps. Just like I see some of you exercising extreme caution, wearing masks in the class. This reminds me of 2016. I think it was 2016 December, the first time when we had done SFG. So it was a different floor. We didn't know there was some redevelopment plan of Delhi going on. And that year around, suddenly they said that they had a Delhi master plan. 2005 was to be implemented sometime in 2016. So they said that in Rajendra Nagar, there should not be any coaching or any activity, commercial activity should be happening, which is when ForumIAS, first we started doing SFG in a park, as some of you may have seen some videos or I have written about it, and then we set up. We took a huge classroom like this and we started, and we asked some students, because there was a lot of dust in the classroom, there was no floats, so we asked students to wear a mask. And apparently we were not aware about it. But what happened is, so SFG used to happen at 7 a.m. and at 7 a.m. in winters it is dark. But what happened is, even at 8 a.m. the dark did not stop. Then it was 12 noon, the dark did not go away. It was 4 noon, the dark did not go away, and that lasted for 5-6 days. And we thought, have we done something? And then we saw more and more people wearing masks. And then for the very first time, the news broke that Delhi has an air pollution problem, the AQI problem. And then that was the first time we came to know about AQI and this monitoring and the harms of it. And that is, before that, there was nothing like this AQI and suspended particulate matter 2.5 and 10. Anyway, so we are meeting here today to orient ourselves for the prelims examination. You may see that behind me that is said for success in prelims 2025. Now I have not removed it. Can you tell me why? Why I have not made it 2026? Anyone? The class is full of smart people. I'll meet some of you. I met 500 people from SFG in the interviews of 2024. So that's what I'm telling you. Anyone? What could it probably mean or symbolize? The fundamental rules remain the same. I repeat, the fundamental rules remain the same. The more the things change, the more they remain the same. So the fundamental rules for success in prelims or in the whole of the examination will remain the same. which also I want to emphasize to a lot of you, is it is difficult in your times to clear the prelims examination, much more difficult than it was maybe 5 years back, because there's just too much of information, there's too much of guidance, there's too much of misguidance, and there's too much of noise, so much so that you don't know what to do. You have so many choices that no longer those choices are good for you. Right? Sometimes we do well when we do not have many choices. Sometimes we end up not doing well because we have too many choices. So there's just so many things out there that you don't know what to do, and then you end up doing none of them. So from this class, this wonderful class, my expectation from all of you is that as you sit in class, every single one of you, I hope that some of you have written the mains examination. Any of you here in this class? I expect that, yes. Then why still did you come? I know some of you, okay. Why did you still come for this session? 25 did not clear. What did you do in 24? Qualified. Okay, yes. So that says, and wonderful, how about you?
23.
Okay, so that also tells us one thumb rule for prelims examination, which I want all of you to follow, is that if you've cleared the prelims once, it does not mean that your prelims preparation is very good. Unless you have cleared the prelims 2 times, it means you have what I call a fragile preparation. Which means that if you have just cleared the prelims once and you're not clear, and then you think that now I know and I've appeared for the mains and I've appeared for the interview and therefore I don't need to do it, then I want to tell you that you can only take prelims very slightly for granted because you've cleared it only when you've cleared it twice. After that, you are nearly not going to flunk in the prelims exam, nearly. Accidents can happen. But for any of you who have any doubts with respect to your own, because civil services aspirants, the hugest problem will be that when very young aspirants writing their first attempt, they come, I would not say about confidence, but they overestimate themselves. And they assume things to be a lot easier than what it is. And once they flunk in the exam with decent effort, then they fall into the other extreme, that is they start underestimating themselves. If we are somehow able to appropriately estimate ourselves, probably we'll find success. I repeat, if we are able to appropriately estimate ourselves, we'll be able to do well. The problem is always with an overestimation, or the problem is with a underestimation, right? You meet young people, I mean, how many of you are going to write your first attempt in 2026? Yes, quite a small, so that's what, wonderful. How many of you have written 2+ attempts in prelims? Okay, 3+ attempts, 4+, okay, fair enough. So anyway, this is the nature of the examination. Before I begin, I also want you to ask questions so that I do not just go on with my agenda, but you can ask your questions, but I'll explain to you the attempt cycle. Any questions that you have that you would want me to take? Yes, last benches. Anyone has any questions with respect to the prelims exam? Yes.
Whether to follow some other test series or SFG will suffice.
Other test series versus SFG, do we need to do anything? Yes. Those whose foundation is going on anywhere, who are doing foundation for 2026, whether to skip or to write or do SFG, what should be their course of action? Yes, very good. A fair enough question.
The ideal time for the prelims, like there is always a confusion between the mains perspective and the prelims perspective. So how much time you have to dedicate for the prelims?
Ideal time for prelims. Yes. Manage optional. Managed optional with yes. Current affairs for prelims.
Sir, for somebody who is very good at answer writing and mains stuff, but who does not really fare well when it comes to prelims mode of tests,
Yes, any other questions?
Before that, I used to attempt 75, 77 question only, so I got good marks. But this time I attempted 94. So the same correction, like 56, 57% correct, but got failed.
Okay, yes.
So after attempting questions, as you said, how many questions to attempt? So my same doubt.
Okay. Anybody else?
And one more thing, sir, how to utilize it better way, not making your own mistakes.
Yes, young lady.
So pressure management,
For freshers.
so 3+ at exam center.
Oh, pressure management, I thought. Okay. Let's take it separately then. Pressure management at exam center. Any of you who have any other engagements for the next 2 hours, you can move out of the class because given the range of questions, it will take around 2 hours. So those of you who have any engagements, you can leave right now and watch the video later, if at all there is anybody. Yes, anyone else? Use how to use test series questions.
Sir, what forum the tool keep listen a lot, but you never use Farsi or
Farsi. Last benches. Everybody from the left is quiet these days. Yes. Yes.
Sir, how to analyze the test paper after the test?
Post-test analysis. Somebody. Yes.
Like 5 months before prelims.
5 months before prelims. Okay. Yes. Somebody else had a question from there.
Sir, mindset and temperament building.
Yes, young lady.
Sir, in SFG schedule, there are certain sources mentioned to study, but for somebody who's given more than one attempt, they do have their own notes and everything. So how to tackle in that situation? Those sources be also covered in everything.
Yes.
How to be sure that our syllabus is complete? What should be the parameter of knowing that our syllabus is complete? How we should write test?
This question is a priority question because this is where people are currently going wrong, and we will have approximately 10-15,000 hardworking students flunk the exam because they are not able to fully understand the nature of the exam. Yes.
This is incompleted. How should I approach prelims study?
I'll put this here, syllabus incomplete. Anybody else? Any last questions? Yes. How should we do the revision? Any last questions? Yes. Nobody was talking about the elephant in the room. Previous year's question, now it is taken for granted. Any last questions? Yes.
For the next 3 months, there is enough time to complete prelims syllabus. So for main syllabus,
Till when to do mains? Okay. And you? So I'll have one question for you. Don't be mad at me. अभी तक सारे MGP के टेस्ट लिखे हैं? हाँ, ठीक है. So it is a very pertinent question for him who has been writing every MGP test. So he is a pertinent question. Usually I get the question with sometimes young, passionate, impatient students who will come, ki, sir, how to manage MGP with SFG? Then I says, ki, how have you been doing so far? Then he says, I have not been managing it. I have not started writing MGP test, but now because prelims time has come, I will start writing MGP. I said, yes, I see you annually. Now that prelims time has come, you start writing MGP. When prelims will get over, then you will say, sir, give me SFG papers. From June, I will start writing SFG. Any?
To be noted for the first attempt.
For first attempt people. What mistake should not make? Okay. First attempt people. We have some pages full. So first thing is that before I begin everything, I would want to talk about thing, and that is why does it happen that some people clear the examination when they see, they have this Vinny Vidi Vici, I came, I saw, I conquered, and some people keep struggling with it. And over the years, what I have seen is that why some people, suddenly they end up clearing this examination, and they have not cleared it before, and suddenly they clear this examination, and what they've done. So one basic understanding as to why some people get two things, why they don't clear prelims and why you get caught in the exam cycle. You understand it once. First is that why people get caught in exam cycle. This is what I would want to talk about in the first few minutes. If you understand this, then you'll be sorted out pretty well actually. What happens is why. So generally what happens is, if you see the attempts of a student, first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, fourth, fifth, sixth, generally mistakes that people make, how they end up exhausting their attempts or not making it, is that they will end up not writing the mains in the first 2-3 attempts. For any stupidity, for any reasons. Like they've given 3-4 attempts, now they have not written the mains examination. And therefore they'll be writing their first mains itself in a very late stage. I'm not saying, here again, when people are writing their first mains in 4th attempt or 5th attempt or sometimes 6th attempt or higher attempts, it is not necessary that they will be fragile with mains. It is just that we don't know whether your mains is very good or it is not in shape. Sometimes it happens your mains is also not good, now you're facing trouble. Your optional choice was not good, now you're facing trouble. And sometimes it happens that the first time you write the mains examination, you clear it. For example, so many students, whether it is, or this year, for example, I think, I should share it in fact. So some people whom I remember from SFG, who's clearing it. So this time I got this. Now 500 students from SFG appeared for the interview in 2024. Now how I know this is because we do not want to keep the interview guidance program free. But then what happens is that there's always a pressure. Students come and say, sir, in the last stage also Forum is charging fee for a program, and we have been all throughout. So last year we decided that, whereas it is a completely different matter why we do not keep it free. Because we have certain number of students, we would definitely want our internal students to clear the examination. If there is a limited bandwidth the academy has, who will it prioritize? Outside students or internal students? Outside or internal? Internal. And we have enough number of internal students who will be in the final list or even in the interviews. It's not like we have separate people doing our courses and separate people who come for the result and they come for the interview and that. So it doesn't happen like that. We generally, our own students are in large numbers who are appearing for the interview. But there is a pressure, and then somebody says that, sir, my friend wants to come, but then Forum is the only place where interviews are charged. So we said that, okay, for SFG students, you use this coupon code or something like that, and that is how we measured. Then we find out that chalo SFG wale bache. So, but over the years, what I have seen is, for example, people from SFG program, in case you're interested. So this candidate, highest rank this year is rank 4 from SFG, who's done it. Then you have, I think he's rank 9 this year. And then we have, so he's been selected twice. He's been doing SFG both the years. Like he's got a 350 rank sometime like 2 years back, 3 years back. And then also this year also, I think he's gotten rank 21. He's gotten rank 12. He's an SFG student. And he had trouble with prelims after doing a very good MBA program from IIM Bangalore, and then you come and then you get stuck in prelims because you don't fully understand. So then you do the hard work, then you clear it. So this is how it happens. And this rank 41, so I met him in one of these sessions. He was there in all the sessions, including one where I think it was prelims failure session. So that is the first time he came to the class, and then he's gotten rank 41. He's from Karnataka. And we have rank 84. So you don't have a video, but then she sent a message that, sir, I have again joined SFG, and that is itself my testimonial, but I'll focus on 25 right now because I'm writing the next attempt. So so that's the best testimonial. Then we have philosophy options. So some people may know rank 17, he has 300 plus marks, rank 4. Again, I'm telling you, this is, so she did not clear prelims the first time. So then when we decided we'll do SFG, and she cleared it, rank 33 this year with the first rank. But if you ever see the video where, you know, I'm there and I'm calling all the people, and if somebody pays attention to detail, I'll ask, SFG theek se kiya tha? And then it was Ishita, she says, it's not very high in the volume, but she says, yes, sir, every day at 7 p.m. I used to be there. So one thing that you will see that a difference between a top ranker versus others will be that if they decide to do something, they'll either do it properly or they won't do it. They won't do half-half. I'm not going to say they don't struggle. Just like you struggle, they struggle. But sometimes in that struggle itself, you become what you have to become. Sometimes in that struggle itself, you develop the potential. In fact, the appropriate word will be you realize your potential and you get success. So these are some students. Ayan, I'm not sure he enrolled for the course, but he was added. Why? Because his elder brother was there, AJ on the forum. So he was, he has done, I think, 70-80 हज़ार रुपये प्रीलिम्स टेस्ट सीरीज में खाली खर्च किए। तो मैं उसका रिकॉर्ड देख रहा था, मैंने कहा इस बार भी ज्वाइन कर लिया है, नाउ यू हैव गॉटन अ रैंक, व्हाट विल यू डू? इसे सर छोटा भाई कर लेगा। I think he was in 2022 and then Ayan Jan in 2023. Both of them got in 16th rank. And his batchmate, I always give this example. He came in one of these sessions, prelims failure session, and after the sessions he said, sir, my batchmate and I have read the same book. Why did he get not only clear prelims, he got 16th rank, and I'm also from IIT Delhi, he's from IIT Delhi. And we have read the same books. What happens that, you know, some people get through and some people don't. So the truth is that I will give you 2 pages to read, and there'll be 3 of you. I've said this before, but I want to re-emphasize. So I give just 5 pages or 2 pages to read. And I say that you come back after reading this and I'm going to ask questions. Or I'll just say, just read it. I'm not going to say anything. One of them will just come back after 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And he will say, sir, I've read it. Sir, I've read the document that you wanted me to read. And then when I ask him, all right, can you tell me what was the title of the article? The guy says, he starts looking at the paper. All right, when I ask what was the title of the article, you came back in 5 minutes saying that, yes, I have read it. And I ask him what was the title of the paper, he starts looking at the document. It could be any of them, it could be any of us. It's because that's how normal it is for you. So what will happen will depend, not because I teach ethics or GS paper 4 and values is a topic in it, but it truly is the case that what are your values? I'm not saying in a good way or a bad way. I'm simply saying what is normal for you to do. If somebody says that, somebody gives you a document and says that, go and read it, there will be 3 kinds of people. One of them comes back in 5 minutes and says, I've read it. I ask them, what is the name of the title? He says, I don't know. I'll have to look for it. I says, who's the author of the article? The guy says, I never noticed there is a author in the article. What poor ethics. What poor reading values, right? So I'll rate one candidate at the bottom tier. The next candidate, when I'll ask him, he'll take some time. And the next candidate, I'll ask him that what's probably the name of the article. He says, sir, this is it and this is about. And then when I ask him a question, I'll say, what is the article about? He'll probably tell me. But if I ask him a specific question, he probably won't tell me. He'll say, sir, I will have to read it again. I repeat, I will have to read it again. And then there will be a third candidate. Without nudging, he takes time, he probably takes 1 hour. But when he comes back, he knows the title, he knows the author, he also knows the difficult question. Can you tell me why? What is the difference between the first candidate and third candidate? Be very logical. See, I want all of you, if you're coming to ForumIAS, we have built ForumIAS Academy not by advertising too many toppers. You have not even seen any of these in our advertisements. I can tell you that. We have not built ForumIAS by using these people that they have joined this course and that course. That is not what we have ever done. The best way to reach ForumIAS is you get a mail from us. It's not like you'll see some advertisement in newspaper or some hoardings. But what is happening is from this class, what I want is every single one, if you write the mains exam, all of you come and join our courses for the mains, then you come and appear for the interview, pay 590 rupees for the interview guidance program, and that is how, and then you get selected. And we'll not publish your pictures, but we'll publish your signatures or a small handwritten testimony. That's all that I want from this class. So all of you when you're coming with that. Now, which is why I want a very logical answer. And be sharp. Tell me what is the difference between the first candidate and third candidate. What could it be? Anyone? Yes, young lady.
The third person took time but ensured that he completely understood whatever he's reading.
She has a very wonderful point. She says that first person took the time and he decided to understand what is written, and therefore he read well. So you could say there are two things. So can we make a general comment that he has better reading ethics or his reading values are better? When he reads a book, he knows who the author is. And when another person reads the book, they don't know the name of the book, they don't know the name of the author, which is why they do not have any content to talk about, which is why when in groups, they will fumble for words, they do not have a vocabulary, they have no ideas, they have read a book, but they have not been intellectually stimulated by it, and the examination fairly wants to eliminate those who are not intellectually stimulated by ideas. That's what the exam is about, because the exam fairly gets difficult and more intellectually and academically, I would say, difficult, and it requires a lot of thought provocation. But that's okay. But any mischievous answers, tell me. Why did the third candidate answer and the first did not?
The first one was in a hurry.
The first was in a hurry. Any mischievous people?
Reading between the lines.
Reading between the lines, okay. Young man, tell me why the first person, anything. Tell me, think in practical terms. Think if the three people were you, then why does the third person know the answers and the first person does not? Level of concentration. So these are the qualities which will define why the third person will be at the apex position and the first person will be at the bottom position. Yes?
So third person did self-reflection of the topic.
He did self-reflection. No, think of something more practical.
Sir, he tried to consolidate the matter.
No, why? Yes, young lady.
Attention reading.
Wanted to show off with the something.
Wanted to show off. No, something more practical. Think of you, three people outside an interview hall. Passive reading.
Multiple reading.
He revised? All right.
The person was more patient.
Was more patient. Think of a real interview situation. You're outside my cabin, three people have come for a temporary job, and the third person takes more time, answers all the questions. What could have happened?
So time.
He heard the questions being asked. I repeat, he heard the questions being asked inside the interview hall. Can this happen? So he heard the interview questions asked inside the hall. How mischievous. What a complete fake person. Isn't it? What a liar. And why does he still get the job? Because he answered the question. So my dear friends, this is what is the grand revelation that I want to make before you today, is that you have to answer the questions. And you either answer the questions because you have very high reading ethics, or you are smart enough to hear what's happening, pick up the right cues, and clear this examination. So one of these is from an IIT, one of these is from an IIM. They also took 3 attempts and 4 attempts to clear the exam with it. Another person in this itself is a simple Sada BA pass candidate, not from one of the GATE colleges. And he or she probably took 6 or 4 plus attempts. From what I remember, it was the 5th or 6th attempt, but they got a single digit rank. I can tell you about this candidate and the lady candidates, both they cleared in their 4th, 5th attempt. I saw them struggle कि भाई अभी ये कर रहा है करते करते अंत में they got a 4th rank. Were they the smartest ones? They were not the smartest ones. They did not know that when you have to read an article, you read the title and you read the author name, so that at least you can say that Shashi Tharoor in his article has said this with even reforms. They are not smart enough, but what are they good at? They are smart enough to understand the game. I repeat, they are smart enough to understand the game. So for Smriti, I would tell her, Smriti, foundation karke aao. She did not. And I saw her struggle through the years. She went and did some paper masters and she was pursuing in the end. The last interaction before the interview happened when she came with 15 questions, said, sir, I just need to wrote down the answers in the interview phase. So she was doing SFG for like 2 years, she did it. And she just noted down the answers, and then when the last message she got was, sir, I got a 4th rank. But but it's like I'm a lot busy because मैंने सोचा था nothing will happen, so I started my master's course and now I'm busy. Which attempt is this candidate 4th rank? Which attempt it is? It was the 5th attempt, probably from what I remember. I remember this candidate on the higher side of the attempts. All right, and this candidate is again from an IIT, this candidate is not from an IIT. All I want to tell you is that in the end, you have to know the answer. Whether you are having those values from day itself, you are very aggressive and you know those answers, or you probably listened carefully to what's happening, did not get distracted, and then you did what was the demand of the situation. Both ways you can answer the question, and when you answer the question, you get marks. So generally what happens, my dear friends, is that in the first attempt, most people will make the mistake is that they will always end up overestimating themselves. When you overestimate yourselves, then what will happen is that first attempt, most likelihood you will think you will prioritize mains over prelims, which is a good thing. But then this choice of mains over prelims has to be depending on the seasons. It's winter, you better start preparing for prelims. Why did God create winters? God created winters so that you know when to switch from your mains preparation to the prelims preparation. Right? This time we have early winters. And if you are feeling colder than usual, then at least you know that for the rest of the people, the winter has not come, but for you, the winter has. So if you're feeling colder than usual, then your time has come, you start early. So first attempt, what happens is, they will keep doing the mains till January, February, and then what will happen is, so think of it. This is May or June, depending on which year. This is August and September. So these candidates, what they will do is annually. Once you understand this, it makes it let us say call it January, and let us call this extreme December. Instead of focusing on, switching, they will keep doing things here because PSIR will go until April and they want to get rank 1. Everybody does. They'll do it, then they will flunk the prelims exam, and in June they have a negative prelims report card. So now, annually, at least in the initial years, not after third year that Josh is missing. But after the first prelims failure, sometimes after the second also, there is this feeling of badla. The famous movie is there, Baap ka badla, Bhai ka badla. So you want to take that badla, and you say, sir, after June, I know that next year I'm going to demolish prelims. And you will have YouTube initiative also, demolish prelims, conquer prelims, devastate prelims, burn prelims. ऐसे करके, you will have things like that. वो पढ़ोगे, and then sometimes your mind of 10th class student will be stimulated, that the child in you will rise and say, yes, this person is telling me how to, kill prelims with a sword. And you will start following. All the bogus people who have not cleared prelims, they will be in that phase as you, and they will keep doing prelims from June till August, September. Nobody who's appearing for all the smart students who have cleared the prelims. I mean, anyone who's studying for prelims right now has missed the cutoff, and that could be from missed the cutoff by 1 marks to 76 marks, or even 80 marks, because there is negative marking also. Some people say, and some people are bright enough, they are honest. They say, sir, how much did you miss the cutoff by? And the guy says 80 marks. I say, cutoff was 76. Yeah. I'm like, -4. I say, what does that tell you? The guy says, I have one thing to say, that now I know what is to be done. I said, what will you do? So guy says, sir, this time I made a mistake. I said, what? I heard some topper speak and he said that he only studied prelims for 2 months. I have learned my lesson. I said, what did you learn? The guy says, I'll study prelims for 3 months. So then I meet him in his 5th attempt and says, what did you learn? He says, successively, I learned that 3 is not enough, 4. I said, okay, that was the 3rd attempt. Then 4th attempt mein kya hua? Sir, I realized it is 5 months de dena chahiye. And he takes 5 years to realize that. All guys, I just want to tell you one thing. Life is to be lived forward but understood backwards. I repeat, life is to be lived forward but understood backwards, which means that by now you know what you had to do in 10th class. By now, what did you have to do in 12th class? By now you also know what you had to do in your college. Both academics or relationships, you know what you had to do. Ab samajh mein aa gaya, us samay samajh mein nahi aaya tha, you did not know. So it's always figure out. So whatever I'm saying, 5 years later you will figure it out, but don't make that 5 years and 5 attempts take a toll. In case you don't understand, listen to someone. Sometimes it is better. So this is what they will do is May, June and August, September, a lot of people will write mains. They have written their first mains. So what happens is most academies, including us, we realize that people have written the mains and now suddenly they have gotten serious, which means that now their commitment to the exam has increased. Because at this stage, what happens is everybody says, I want to write the prelims exam. But then he has too many hobbies. I said, do you want to become an IAS, IPS? Yes, and an entrepreneur, and a constable, and a daroga, and a SBIPU, and a SSC inspector, and a GST inspector. We don't know what does he want. At this stage, we nearly know what he wants. He wants to write a good mains. He wants to at least get in the list. Here, we don't know what he wants. है ना, इन दी एंड वो कह देगा बिहार में भी एक नई भर्ती आई है, नया रोजगार योजना लगा, उसमें भी भरना है, तो they don't know what he wants. So therefore it's very difficult to deal with. But with this crowd, you know that he has tasted blood, he has seen competition, people have treated him with a little more sincerity or better respect in Rajendra Nagar, because he's writing the mains examination. Now he knows what he wants. Now he wants more of that respect. He has tasted blood. So now he says, sir, now I'm very clear, up to UPSC, he karna. Before that, he has to do Maharashtra PCS and everything else also. It may happen to all of us. So therefore, this time what happens is some mains oriented courses will run. Primarily to ensure that these people, and anyway, this is the time till December when you can do the mains oriented things. You can stretch it by a month or so. I'm not going to be very rigid because different people are at different stages of preparation. Now this candidate, he's been studying for prelims. You can't study for prelims more than 4-5 months. You can't study for it like 12 months. You will run out of things to study. You run out of things to study if you are studying. If you're not studying, you have plenty of things even after 2 years of dedicated prelims preparation. So at this stage, what happens is he sees, he's not the target audience, but he sees, which is why no matter what you say, I rate offline coachings much better than edtechs, is because there is no mis-selling in offline coachings, which means that nobody will call you and say that we have such and such course. Largely in an offline coaching, nobody will pick your phone, but nobody will try to push you and say that ye join. But what will happen is there are too many online players, YouTube players and everything. They will start getting phone calls and you say, this is probably the right thing to do for me. Now this guy, there's nothing wrong with it. You must be doing your mains preparation at this stage, August, September. But then what happens is the mains preparation invariably will stretch depending on what is your current status of preparation. And it will sometimes include into February. By February, the student thinks again, January or February, why? Because he feels that he has to get rank 1 in his optional. Either 300 plus because he has done MA in sociology, so he must be the topper of sociology. चाहे यूपीएससी में टॉप ना करे, सोशियोलॉजी में ही शुड बी द टॉपर दैट ईयर. That obligation is there, है ना? So by Jan Feb it is included. Now accidentally he logs into the portal to see how his prelim score are. The same test series has been joined now by several people who are now preparing for, who have written the mains. Now after January they have started preparing for prelims. So they have started writing the prelims test. So now this candidate who felt that I'm on very much on track, I'm getting 10 rank in test series. So therefore prelims of next year is sorted. Now suddenly he sees this 10th rank becomes 1800 because 1700 people who appeared for the mains, now they have joined the test series, they have written the test, now his rank is 1800. And this is the point where he'll lose his school and saying, I was getting a 10th rank, now I'm getting 1800. Why? Because now the serious crowd is also writing the same test. And almost all test portals have test codes, right? The same test is given to large number of students so that you get a better reflection. So now then he panics, but what is his problem? He only now has 3 months to prepare for the prelims examination. And when he has 3 months, again, see, some of us are, the problem why some of us fail in some of our objectives is not that we don't work hard enough. We fail in our objective because we don't allocate it enough time. Think of it, any activity that you can say. You want to make good meals and you're in a hurry. Then you make meals which nobody understands what you have made. And nobody is willing to eat it. No, you neither also. Similarly in prelims, this also happens sometimes. So this is what happens. Now you're in a hurry and then prelims again the same result. And this time kya hai? He has to take double badla. अब तो कहेगा कि अब तो कुछ भी हो जाए, next year, even if I don't clear mains, I will top the prelims. Again, he will start studying for prelims and he will repeat the same cycle. That is how people end up in third attempt. After this, different people do differently. But then after the third attempt, generally people understand that if others are clearing it, but I'm not, I'm making a mistake. This is the point when generally some humility develops. Also because they have studied, this humility will be missing in anybody who's writing his first attempt. He will look down on everyone who's appearing for their 4th or 5th attempt. I mean, you may see some of it around yourself. And I had a good student who later got first rank, but at that time, she was looking for a job, and I remember clearly her meeting some student, and despite appearing for the interview, the student, when he came to know, a fresher came to know that she is writing her 4th or 5th attempt, there was a certain disdain or disregard because he thought that she is too dumb and I'm too smart because she's taken 4 attempts just to clear the prelims exam, and I will do it just like that. So this happens. By this time, people do different things, but then what happens is, by 3rd or 4th attempt, you realize what is to be done. By that time, you start having a countdown. This is the problem why people get into trouble. This happens yearly. This happens annually. All right. Why people still fail prelims annually, which is why is, so when, for some students, for example, I ask them that what is the reason that you suddenly cleared the prelims after like 7 years, 5 attempts. They say, sir, and especially with SFG. So why you should do it is because if anything doesn't happen, this happens that you realize that what is the effort inadequacy, which means some people who are not having that environment around themselves, you will not know that how much effort you have to put. If you knew it, you would do it, but you don't know. And secondly, when you don't know why, because then you have nobody studying around. Look, we all come from different backgrounds. Some of you may be coming from backgrounds where your parents are government servants who have cleared a certain exam and gotten that job. So no matter how much you study, they will tell you you're not studying hard enough. Some of you may be coming from backgrounds where there's not much education in the family. I meet such parents often. So the minute you study 4 hours, the parents think that they should award you the Nobel Peace Prize for studying, right? Which is why sometimes, despite all the pollution and everything, which is not a good thing, I tell people, you come to Delhi not to hang around, but at least if you are able to get a good peer group, if you're able to see few people studying harder than you and then making that trajectory leap, you are from a top Delhi University college, the person is from an open university, and then he clears the exam and you don't, then you start studying. Because that is what, and I also say this, I know a lot of people who will be watching it on YouTube will criticize that why this person or this, mafia later say that why you come to Delhi. But the truth reason is, there is something known as the sibling test of a good advice. What is the sibling test of a good advice? You gave the same advice. See, for friends, what will happen is we have a very different advice. But for siblings, for younger brothers and sisters, for relatives, for cousins, we don't give the same advice. Right? If your friend is having some trouble or something like that, even a medical trouble which is bothering him, you'll say कि यार ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है, go for homeopathy or go for this, या फिर go to the pharmacist, take a medicine और चले जाओ. But when it happens to your cousin and your aunt calls कि बेटा है ना छोटू is sick for few days, you probably will not tell छोटू, your younger cousin, to go to the pharmacist. तुम कहोगे गंगाराम में दिखाओ, मैं चलता हूँ, या जाना पड़ेगा शायद. Why? Because if something wrong happens, then you are accountable to छोटू. Because you are the elder sibling. You are the elder sibling. So they will ask you, why did you do that to him? Why did you send him to the pharmacist instead of Gangaram Hospital when it was right across the door? But with a friend, you don't have that accountability. He's an equal. You can say, I only knew as much as you did. Why didn't you ask someone more experienced? Isn't it? So what will happen is, when it comes, so I saw one of my teachers say on YouTube that don't come to Delhi, no need to come to Delhi, and all those things. And I asked why. And when he called me, he said about his family member to join forum. I said, sir, online join करेगा? He said, नहीं, online में पढ़ाई कहाँ होती है? और वो भी initial year में, later तो everybody can study, right? तो जाएगा तो you know guide it. So the same person, when he has to talk to the audience and appeal to large number of people, he'll see what is popular, what is easily done by everyone, so that you have the maximum likes. But when it comes to your own family member, you'll not make such stupid advice. You will make sure that that advice is least, I'm not going to say it's the best advice, but it's the least risky advice. You won't say कि 3 साल पढ़ के देख लो घर पे नहीं होता है तब आ जाओ. That's what not you're going to say to a family member or a sibling. You say something where you'll be held accountable for. Right? So the first thing, that is why you may not be people annually fail prelims is, that is effort inadequacy. I can tell you here at ForumIAS, I will guarantee you one thing, that when you'll come here, you will, no matter how much you think you are Turam Khan, you will always have a brighter kid who will be getting more marks than you. And not just that, he's brighter than you, but he will be studying more than you. I repeat, he is brighter than you, he has more marks than you, but that's not all. He also studies more than you. He studies. This is when I call the mental revolution will happen, when you realize he is brighter than me, probably. By bright, I mean there's no means to measure apart from previous academic records. And he is also scoring well. So I had this one very bright student. The first time he came, then he did not clear prelims for like 2 attempts. And then the third attempt, he came, and then he said, so he felt that he's the only one he did not clear. He saw that there was a large number of people he came. So when we started SFG, he was not getting the due marks, and he was staying somewhere in Greater Noida. Some knowledge park is there. So he said that, sir, I will do it online. And when he did not get the marks, he did not get good marks. I said, what is happening? He said, sir, people are cheating and getting the marks. So I tell him, ek baar offline now. I did not tell him, but I told him, you sit in one particular seat. And he sat, and then he got the scorecard. Then I told him that, do you know who your neighbor was? He's the one who's getting the more marks. Was he cheating? He said, no, sir, I was sitting next to him. He was not cheating, and that is when he said that if he can do it, why cannot I? And that is when he cleared his first prelims, wrote the mains, appeared for the interview, little less marks in geography option, but later he got rank 94, first, Okay, so this is what. The second is, you are not aware of the competition. See, you only run as fast as is needed. We all run only as fast as one is needed. You're not going to deplete all your energy, but you're not aware of the competition. And that is why, and if you are in a place where there are the masses. Now, Forum, we did not build it for the masses. We did not, that's not the ideology. We want 100 students, but we want each one of them to clear this exam. And we work damn hard on it. We want each of you, if you're coming to Forum, I want you to clear this exam with flying colors. I mean, I can tell you that, with things being disappointing here, we set up residential academy. Nothing, there's no, usme kuch unique nahi hai. What we are doing here is that's what we are doing there, except that there is a lodging and food is taken care of. Out of 100 people, 46 people cleared the prelims examination. Everyone with 3 or more prelims failures. Not an easy task. Not because they don't know, but because with 3 prelims failures, they are very negative. They think कि कुछ नहीं होना जाना है. सब मोह माया है ना? Or everybody is out to exploit and loot them. That's what he's thinking. Whereas if he is directing him to studies, he will clear the exam. It's not a wonder at all. That people are not aware of the competition. And the third biggest reason why some people will annually fail prelims is because you're not willing to give it time. See, what happens is that why you need to follow an external calendar. Why some of you may say, sir, why should I not do it sitting at home? I'll get all the test papers and do it. But what happens in such cases is now you do all the question papers which you like, you do all the subjects that you like, and you stop doing the subjects that you don't like. You don't like art and culture, so you will leave it till April. Right? Or some people don't like ancient medieval. They don't like ancient medieval, so they're not doing it. Some people don't like science and tech because they think I'm not from science background, and therefore they'll be perpetually weak in it. And they will do all papers, and every time what they will do, they will solve polity, economy. They will begin every time, they'll begin with polity, economy, and not take care of where they are. And then there is also the gangs of ORN. कुछ gang member मुझे दिख रहे हैं class में, है ना? What do these gangs do? You will find them around tea stalls. It is winter. Tea is a good beverage to have in winters, no matter how polluted it is outside. So these gangs will circle around. They look like seniors whom you can take meaningful advice. If they see you, they can be existing as bhaiyas and didis in where you stay. They've been here for some time, so you listen to them. The useful advice that you've gotten from them is which is the best newspaper vendor, which is the best tiffin वाला कौन बढ़िया, ये सब उनको बढ़िया पता है. एग्जाम निकालना उनको नहीं पता है, लेकिन ये बता देंगे कि शॉप पे सबसे ज़्यादा उधार चलता है. वो तो 3 महीने तक भी नहीं मांगता है. न्यूज़पेपर वेंडर अच्छा है, 3 टिफिन वाले का नंबर है उसके पास. ये सब उनको बढ़िया पता है. Now what happens is that when you show any alacrity, alertness towards your prelims preparation, you start taking steps. This gang gets activated. They will tell you simple one thing. I've said in last year also, but I'll repeat it. They will, if they see you studying for prelims, they will say, agar prelims clear bhi ho gaya, if mains is not prepared and if you clear prelims, then what is the fayda? Prelims clear karke bhi kya fayda if your mains is not prepared? They will not give you a roadmap for mains, but they will just tell you what not to do. Right? Ki prelims ho bhi gaya to kya fayda? Then one of them will laugh while sipping the tea, and he will say, Bhaiya, why did you laugh? He says, I did not clear prelims this time, but I'm happy. You'll ask him why he is happy. He said, because my mains was not prepared. Think, if my mains was not prepared, I did not clear the prelims, so I'm happy because, I did not find my name in the prelims successful list. I was anyway not prepared. What would have happened if I had written the mains, studied 3 months, and then I would not have made it to the final list? Then I would be more sad. So this sadness of not clearing prelims is less than the sadness of not being in the final list. अब कुछ बच्चे आपके बाल मन को बहुत प्रभावित कर जाता है ये बातें. You are young and vulnerable. Such ideas are sticky. अगर prelims हो भी गया तो मेंस देकर नहीं तैयार है तो क्या फायदा? जब मेंस की पढ़ाई करोगे, then they will reverse. The same gang will say, बताओ गैंग मेंबर्स कुछ, या सुने हो तो बता दो कम से कम. सुना है? यस और नो? हाँ, सुना नहीं है तो कहने वालों में से हो तुम. सुना नहीं है, बोल तो हम ही रहे थे. 150-200 लोगों को गिराया हमने, कंपटीशन एलिमिनेट किया है ऐसे. जैसे ही देखा किसी को, you saw somebody studying hard for prelims, उसके मन में ये बात डाल दो. See now, why these things matter, why these subtle things matters a lot. Bacha, think of it. When do people, let's take a more serious issue. When do people commit suicide? A very sensitive issue. Tell me when. Either when are they simply sad, so they just go, or they feel unsuccessful, so they simply, when do people commit suicide? Farmer suicides, when did?
When they feel helpless.
When they feel helpless, which means that when you can neither see a way forward nor a way backward. There is nowhere to go forward, neither a way backward. मतलब आगे का रास्ता नहीं दिखता. It can happen to some of us. And what happens is that if somebody is going to embark on a decently tough journey, decently tough. I'm not saying about an easy task. Just say, I will go and get a cup of tea. It's not a difficult task. You'll go and get a cup of tea. Somebody says कि वो चाय ठीक नहीं बनाता, फिर भी आओगे खराब चाय लेकर आ जाओगे. But I say that you have to take a 3-day mountaineering course where you'll be hung from a rope, है ना, and you have a 90-degree vertical wall, you have to climb it, and you will have a safety rope, and you have to climb it, and all 3 days you will hanging from it. Decently tough. And in the middle of your journey, I say that perhaps, what's your name, young man? Kunal ko kehta, Kunal, perhaps your rope is about to break. Or this rope is not reliable. What does Kunal do now? He's in the middle of a rock, and this is 200 feet high. He planned to do rock climbing. He's crossed 80 feet or 90 feet, then there's 100 feet below the ground is there, and 100 feet he has to be covered. And I tell him, Kunal, what you are doing is not reliable. Now it's a decently tough job. Will Kunal be able to proceed? No. And he's come so far. That is when Kunal gets stuck. That is when Kunal gets stuck. So the whole reason why I would say people that please have good mentors, and what you're doing, you do it to the completion, is that this is the position where most people, this is your most vulnerable position where you can neither go forward and neither go backward. This is why civil services become such challenging, that what happens is you are doing something that is decently tough, and which is why you sometimes need guarantees. While there are no guarantees and comforts, what generally happens is that you get so much guidance, so much, wo tum par itne YouTube bomb marenge, and itne YouTube bombs will be dropped on you. Or in your times, this didn't happen before, that now you are not trusting the rope. And if you don't trust the rope, you will neither climb up, you will neither go down, you will simply start praying to God or look for someone to rescue you. This is what annually happens. So somebody creates doubt in what you're doing, now you can no longer undertake it. You are writing MGP, a decent test series, which at least 3 in the past 6 or 7 years, it has been there. At least 4 times somebody has gotten a rank 1 using that, and he has used it in both the attempts. Decently one, but somebody will say that this, if you do this, you won't get through it. This is the problem. Now you are not doing it. And he or she will not give you an alternative. This gang will not give you an alternative plan or a better plan. Now what happens is, at the end of it, you've joined the course, you have not done it, and you are nowhere. And you're neither moving upwards nor going backwards. So my dear friends, stay away from such gangs. These gangs will annually tell you, and when the mains you'll start studying for the mains examination. Such as, for example, you come to forum, I say, okay, it's June, you may not have cleared the prelims, but make sure in the next 5 months your mains is done, and they see you move out. When somebody is with a mission, his walk will be different. He won't be walking casually, he'll be walking fast, he'll be in a rush. And that bhaiya or didi is not in a rush. He is maje se baitha hua in his room, sipping coffee and looking at the world of Rajendra Nagar or Karol Bagh or Shadipur or wherever you're staying. And when he sees in a rush, he has a problem or she has a problem. He says, what are you doing? And you say, I'm preparing for the mains so that at least prelims did not happen, did not clear. At least next 5 months I prepare for my mains so that next year, by December, I start early. He will say, you have not cleared, if you're not, agar prelims, no, they won't say prelims nahi hua, prelims bhi nahi hua hai. The word generally is prelims bhi nahi hai, prelims hi nahi hua hai, then why you are studying for the mains? Right? And therefore now you are in a doubt. Every day you are stepping out, either you will avoid that bhaiya or didi, or you will avoid doing your course, you will end up doing these things. And then with that what he has done, what he has managed to jeopardize, he has weakened your resolution. If you have to defeat someone, somebody is going out there in a battle, he has all the swords and armors, and you know you're a brave warrior. You just don't have to tell him anything. You say, देखो तुम्हारे जो है ना, the tarkash where you have kept all your arrows, उसमें छेद है, ऐसा ना कि तीर ही गिर जाए. Now instead of focusing on the enemy, what is he worried about? About his arrows. He is defeated. That's how you defeat enemies. Right? She has done that to you, and you have spent 4 years in Rajendra Nagar. Instead of worrying about what was the prelims exam, you are worried about your quiver. अच्छे से जा रहे हो. You are like Arjun, you are riding the rath, and you have also the benefit of Krishna, a good charioteer. लेकिन पीछे से some cunts will come, और श्वर शकुनी will come कहेगा, देखना टायर ना पंक्चर हो जाए तुम्हारे रथ का. अब देखो तुम क्या करोगे. वहां फोकस करने की जगह आधी नजर टायर पे होगी. ऐसा ना कि शूट करो और टायर फट जाए. यही होगा. ठीक है? Don't do this. Then another reason why some people will not clear prelims for multiple is they want to do it at their own convenience, which I think is a disease that affects 90% of people who don't clear prelims multiple times. You tell them that you come tomorrow at 7 AM, write a test, and by 8 AM you're free. The guy says, no, not at 7. At 7:15 will be more suitable because I can do that 1 hour of yoga. Somebody says, no, not at 8. I'll do it at 9:15. Somebody says, no, I'll do it at 9:30, exactly as per UPSC timings. The other guy says, no, I'll do it at 10 p.m. because I study from 10 to 2. कब पढ़ेगा? जब मन करेगा तब. कब टेस्ट लिखोगे? जब मन करेगा. और उस दिन मन नहीं करा तो, if that day the मन did not happen, then what you'll do? Then उस दिन का छोड़ देंगे, जब मन करेगा तब करेंगे, है ना? There's some people claim to be civil services aspirants, and what do? I say, when did you wake up? जब नींद खुली तब, है ना? अच्छा, सोओगे कब? जब नींद आ जाएगी तब. Residential coaching का student है, he was here only, then he left for the residential coaching. You ask him now you ask him, when did you wake up? He says, जब alarm बजा तब. Life changes. I said, why would you not wake up later than the alarm? He says, because sir, if we wake up later than the alarm, if we miss the PT in the morning, then we have to do penal PT. That physical exercise for 1 hour. Sunday को है ना, सब मजे करेंगे और I will be doing that. Things change. Right? So do not do this. I still have one more thing. Why one student asked this question very well, that sir, how do we simulate the stress and how do we handle? So I had a wonderful student, again at FRC itself, because I was seeing them 24/7. I'll tell you what happened is, I said that I want you to write the test. She said, yes. I said, I do not see your name in the rank list. And if she wrote, she would be in the top. So I said that I was not. Are you doing it? Is your rank list name at the bottom of the rank list? She says, no, it's not at the bottom. I said, why? She says, sir, I'm getting a good score. I've gotten a 84 and 85. I said, I don't see your name. She says, sir, actually, I wrote the test at home and I did not submit it. I said, why? I mean, we have a classroom. We sometimes put an AC in winter so that people feel cool enough. We have those arrangements. Why do you do that? He says, sir, because I like to put it on my laptop, 2 pillows and a laptop and a glass of water and pura apna pitara. So I feel comfortable on my bed instead of a study chair and a study table. What problem I may have with that? The next time happens is, we pay an expensive school to conduct an open test. Some students, depending on what is your thought, you will think that it is all marketing and all. Aisa kuch nahi hai. Every coaching knows that if they don't simulate the atmosphere, their students will not do well. The competition is so tough. So everybody is trying to do that. That they know कि बच्चे ये नहीं सोचेंगे, लेकिन जिसको पढ़ाना है, जिसको ranks निकालना है या claim भी करना है, they will try to simulate it. He said, why didn't you go to the school? He says, sir, I can't handle the pressure and people just keep talking bullshit there. So I wanted to avoid it. I said, that's what you have to practice. I mean, after the knowledge base is done, you have to practice how it is going to be 9:30, the prelims is going to start, and you have been there at 8 o'clock, and that government school will not open till 9 o'clock, and you're standing there with one leg, no place to sit, raising one leg, to ek leg kabhi pair mein dard ho raha, and that is 1 hour of test. And that at 9:10, he will open it, and then you have to fall in a queue. And then the chairs will be shaking when you write. Right, and there will be no air condition in Delhi's summers. That is how a real coaching, private coachings will have an AC. That will not have an AC. And then there will be 2 teachers who will be talking about their homely stuff. And then you will be getting that noise while you are solving a CSAT paper. That Ram is the brother of Shyam, Shyam is the, and then you have Ram and Shyam happening here. Right, and that's what you have to accustom. That's what the whole, that's beyond that's the practice part, and that's what you have missed. And what was the whole purpose? He says, sir, I was stressed. I said, that's what the practice is for. You have to practice the stress. You have to practice the stress, not putting you down. And what did she do, this candidate? So she did not get used to the stress. And then when I know what is going to happen, that after the prelims, I said, what happened? He said, I was so stressed that I did not perform well. But I'll be coming back for 26. Annually, it happens. I'm telling you, if at all, try for 1-2 years, but after 1-2 years, if it is not working out for you, if your self-discipline is not working out for you, then don't watch that video on self-discipline by Huberman or anyone. You subject yourself to external discipline, where you can clearly measure whether you're disciplined or not. With self-discipline, your rules will change. With self-discipline, what happens? You will shift the goalpost. You will say your self-discipline says, tomorrow I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and finish 2 chapters. And then what happens? You have trouble waking up. Next day you shift, tomorrow I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and finish 2 chapters. You slowly move towards from discipline to convenience. Whereas if you have to report here at 7 a.m. no matter what, If that's on your discipline, if that's an external plan, then you clearly know whether you have done it or not. So what we do is we'll give you 0 marks for it. And if you're late by 5 minutes, you'll get -5 marks, no matter how much you fight. So this is what we're going to do. Then of course, there is the whole lack of simulation. That's in SFG, we conduct 1 hour test. Apart from that, we have simulators. What we try to do, I can tell you. So we simulate a full length paper. How simulators are designed, they are not supposed to predict the paper. They simply simulate past 8 or 10 years paper. So suddenly you will have a simulator paper. So Forum does not set a balanced paper, कि balanced paper बना दिया. वैसे नहीं करते. We'll see, for example, we are simulating a 2016 paper, which means if it has more of polity, you will certainly have more of polity. And you will have a certain good score. Next will be, for example, a 2013 paper, where is only current affairs. Then you suddenly have current affairs, and then, so we'll train you. So simulations, prelim simulators are supposed to simulate a year's paper with the ratio of distribution of questions in that manner. It's not supposed to be balanced with that 20 questions from polity, 20 questions from economy, and you distribute it in 5 subjects, and the student is very happy कि sir बहुत अच्छा balanced paper था. No, that's not what is needed. You have to know how your worst performance is and how your best performance is. So please do not, some people will fail because they will fail to simulate, they'll be solving. Again, I'm saying it, one with very good clarity, you need to clear prelims only once and actually up to twice. After that, no matter whether you're doing it at home, whether you're doing it or even not doing it. For example, the last time, 12 years ago, when I wrote the prelims, I only got 5 days because I had my interview and the result came, and then I could not make it. So I had 5 days left to write the next prelims, and I thought कि इस बार तो नहीं होगा, फिर भी हो गया. Now if I go branching about it, देखो 5 दिन में prelims नहीं रहोगे, I'm no hero. It forgets the collective effort of 3 years that I may have put before it. So don't listen to the topper who says कि 15 days में मैंने कर लिया, 20 days में मैंने कर लिया, 25 days में, I did it only in 2 months. He may have a different context. You do not enjoy the same context. Then there is elimination techniques. Why some people? Because what will happen is, sometimes people want how they studies, they want to know all the answers. They are in pursuit of knowledge, sometimes wisdom, and they do not, what they do is, they do not see questions how they have to eliminate the options. Forum will have, we were among the first to do elimination techniques, and not in a bogus manner, कि ये होगा तो ये होगा, not in, but in a more scientific manner. So you have to learn how to eliminate your choices. You may not know all the answers, and that is what you'll have to do. But having said that, what is the problem? See, bacha, the first stage of your prelims preparation is having a knowledge base. After that, you do the elimination techniques. Now, what happens is when you are unmonitored, and therefore one talker says that I cleared the prelims because I knew the elimination techniques. Now, what happens? Why I'm so worried about giving this advice is because the people who listen to this advice, generally what they do, if they're the really needy ones, they will think कि पहले elimination technique करना है, पढ़ाई बाद में करनी है. The big problem with giving this advice is that you don't know who you are giving this advice to. So the two students. So there are 2 students. One is missing by 2 marks and the other is missing by 30 marks. Clearly the person missing by 30 marks is not having an elimination problem. He has a knowledge problem, and he hears and he says, now I know, I got my guru gyan from you, sir. I said, what? He says कि I have to practice elimination. Number कितने थे? 40. तुम्हारे लिए elimination technique नहीं है. I repeat, तुम्हारे लिए elimination technique नहीं है. जब when you are within the 5 marks range, then for that you have the elimination technique, where you are having that knowledge base, where on the basis of this you are able to do. Otherwise, what happens is, people, they start with elimination techniques, and for 2 years they are not able to, har saal in every year becomes a Russian roulette. All right. And then there is this problem of can't study in pressure. How many of you cannot study in pressure? Raise your hands, it's okay. How many of you cannot study in pressure? Raise your hands. Everybody studies in pressure only? All there, the class is full of introverts. They won't raise hand in any question. How many of you are men in this class? Raise your hands. अभी भी कुछ लोग को doubt हो रहा है. Raise your hands, men in the class, raise your hands. कुछ लोग अभी भी ऐसे बैठे हुए हैं, where I can clearly see they are men. How many of you are women in the class? Raise your hands. Why are some boys raising hands? They are not listening carefully in the class. है ना? So how many of you really, now tell me, how many of you cannot study in pressure? How many felt pressure, how you cannot study it? So one is that you have to know yourself, bacha. Some people thrive in pressure, some people don't deliver in pressure. I had a bright student, 5th attempt. Wouldn't take her name, but I met it in one of those sessions and she was very traumatized. And I told her, do SFG. She said quietly after the session, she said, I don't want to do SFG. And I said, why? She said, sir, I can't handle that pressure. I did not get marks last time in SFG and I did not get it later. She has written the mains this year and she'll be hopefully appearing for the interview. And that is why for those of you who can't study in pressure or get too traumatized by it, uske liye forum ka sprint hai, I will tell you in the end, please take up the forum sprint, because then you will have some classes, you will get some aid and you will have daily tests and you will not be competing with a large number of people. You will be in a small group, but then it will be a very meaningful group. You do that, we have a very good selection ratio from the sprint. You have एक दो बच्चे हैं top 100 ranks में भी sprint से. अभी कुछ दिन में session ले रहा था, तो एक rank improvement का बच्चा, he cleared. We could not record it there, but there are people with that, so you do that. I'll tell you about later. But yes, one is that एक दो चीज समझ लो कि those of you who think who can't study in pressure, I have one advice for you first. That is, start early. Please start early. You know that when April will be there, you can't study. You lose your mind when it's April and you have too much study targets. Then what is the way to fight it? The way to fight it is start early, so that, bacha, one thumb rule I want all of you to commit to, especially those who have missed prelims 2 times or more, and that is you have to make a promise to me. What is this date? Tell me the date, all of you. What is this date? What is this date? 1st March. You have to promise yourself that your syllabus will be complete by 1st March, and after 1st March you will be writing full length test. Yahan likhna hai ya jahan likhna hai, wherever you will write. My biggest problem is sometimes it makes me so mad that I hear people not clearing prelims 3 times, and then he says, when will you start? The guy says, he said, March se I will start. I said, what? He says, preparing for prelims. No, that's not the correct answer. That's how you get stuck for like 5 years. You should, if you just make a promise to yourself that from 1st of March, I will start my revision and FLTs. From 1st of March, I'll start my revision. So make this promise. Now this should set the date for you. Now with this date in deadline in mind, now tell me whether you should start prelims preparation in December, January or February. The answer is as early as possible, depending on how your own prelims preparation is. Because what happens is some people will start in March, and then what happens in April and May, they realize by April end or 1st week of May, they realize they need more time, and sometimes they need more years. That's how it happens. Now, coming to some of the questions that you have asked me, I'll take them very quickly. So the first question that you've asked me, okay, I talked about the attempt cycle, this happened. Whether do we need to do other test series or SFG? I can tell you with the confidence of at least 12 students and 2 students in particular, where, see, just if you just do 3 cheezein agar kar lo forum ki taraf se, I can tell you about people who were completely monitored situation where we knew what they were doing. For example, FRC students, I can tell you that make sure first is you do SFG, and doing SFG is not enough. You have to top it. When I say top it, multiple times you should be under 30 ranks. Multiple times you should be under 100 rank. It should happen. If that is not happening, then there's a problem. I'm not saying you will not clear the prelims if you're not doing that. There are enough number of people, including single digit rankers whose photos I saw, they were not getting there. But it's not safe. I repeat, that's not safe that you're not getting at least 2-3 baar in a month or in the whole course, you should be getting under 30 rank. Because when I asked after 5th attempt, you know that when she cleared in her 5th attempt, she cleared prelims, mains and interview. When I asked her, she said, no sir, I used to get in sometimes 8, sometimes 20, sometimes 30, sometimes 90, sometimes 212. That happened. You can see previous, her name is Crimson on the rank list in case you want to see it, how she is performing. You can correlate those who are in higher attempts. So please make sure that if you do SFG and if you're doing simulator, you don't need anything else. You don't need to do, we have enough number of students who could not do anything. Because they were too busy. I can tell you at FRC and they've cleared forest cutoff also. I can give you the example of the rank 38 this year. So he was appearing for forest interview also. By the time the day on the interview, he was ringing the success bell here because he did not know it because civil's result had come. So that happened with everyone. And you don't need to do anything else, if at all. The only reason why you should be doing is because you are having a FOMO, you may write 1 or 2 tests. But I can tell you about this candidate because few students came and they said, sir, I don't want to write Abhyas. I said, why? At first I was happy. I said, why? Paper खराब है उनका, question की quality अच्छी नहीं है, अंदर ही अंदर खुश हुआ थोड़ा. Then what he said reduced my confidence. He said, no, sir, because after writing the paper, my confidence goes down. Now, my confidence goes down that you're expecting these people to clear the exam. They are doing well, and they are saying that I'm getting underconfident if I write that. But then, with the experience of being a teacher and mentor for so long, finally I was happy. Can you tell me why? Because I knew that if he's able to beat that seduction of writing a test which other people are writing, which everybody else, including अच्छा, वहाँ पर FRC में भी क्या होगा? जिन बच्चों को फेल होना है वो एकदम छोड़ के वही करेंगे जो वहाँ पर नहीं हो रहा है. मतलब they have this, they are anti-establishment. They will always do things which are बोला गया ये करो. He will not do this. He will try to do that, which is why the problem that happens here also. But I was happy deep inside because I know he'll clear. Because my simple assumption was, if he has been able to insulate himself from not writing that, then he must have insulated himself from so many distractions. कि ये भी कर लो, वो भी कर लो. And the whole, my dear friends, the whole way to clear this exam is you follow a minimal path and then you do the best. You be that, you create your own category. You create a category of one, you create your own category. You say, have you done this? No. Have you done this? No. Have you done this? No. Have you done this? Yes, I have done and I'll be the best in this. Have you done this? Yes, I have done this and I'll be the best in this. Have you done this? Yes, I have done this and I'm the best in this. And no, have you done this? No, I have not done this and I'll not do this. Be the best in few things, you will end up clearing this exam. Okay, so those of you are having in doubt, no, you don't need to do, you can do this. And apart from this, because I cannot say for sure, prelims toolkit question. So these people, again, the reason was they were there was an external force. So they had nearly, those who cleared, nearly all of them had solved 8,000-10,000 questions. Toolkit has 15,000-16,000 questions, but others are, because their day was planned like that. Here also, if you think every day you will be doing 50 questions, so you will also, कितने questions हो जाएंगे अंत में? Simulators और ये सब मिलाकर 4-5 हज़ार questions हो जाएंगे. इसमें कितने questions हो जाएंगे? 2,500 approximately level 1 में, level 2 में और almost 2,500 questions, 5,000 questions, simulator में 8 में around 1,000 questions के आसपास वहाँ हो जाएंगे, 8 + 2 free simulators. So that much you will also be doing. So that is why somebody sent me कि sir, people are trolling him because he said I had practiced 10,000 or 15,000 questions for prelims. So no, that is what everybody does. You yourself will be doing 6,000-7,000 questions. ठीक है, the 6,000-7,000 questions तो you yourself will be doing. There वहाँ पर क्या था कि we wanted much better, so we had used a brute force कि everybody has to do toolkit and people did 10,000-15,000 questions there. Obviously you will become, it's just by practice and practice. See, there are two things every morning you wake. Either you make merry, waste your time, drink tea, coffee and have cup with friends, or you simply go and solve a paper. These are the two things. Every morning you have a choice. And depending on what choice you make, your result will be determined. It's not a very big rocket science. A very simple, just today you had a choice after waking up whether to come here or go have poha, chai, hang out with friends and whatever you want to do, you could do. Or you could come and do something meaningful. So be clear with this. Then those who are with foundation and doing, so here again, some students who are doing foundation in anywhere, not just here, anywhere, I want to tell you a few things. Bacha, preparation, to do the preparation for civil services, it takes time. I know you will be inspired by somebody who says that it was my first attempt, I just wrote the exam, I cleared it, and I can tell you the civil service is very easy. No, it's not until you clear it. It's not. And the second thing is that a lot of you will be running towards, you will be finishing your foundation at several places. My one point advice to you is you yourself will know what is your level of preparation. Because two people in the same class will not have the same level. Because that also will depend on your learning curve. If at all you feel that your preparation is not adequate, I'm telling you it is okay, it is respectable to take a step back and say that no, I need to prepare for a few months more, I need to consolidate my optional, I also need to consolidate my mains notes, and maybe I'll take the exam next year. It's perfectly all right. But if you're going to do that, I would still request कि एक बार SFG दे दो, उससे you will know कि होता क्या है. See, why we sometimes do it in December and why not in January? There are two reasons for it. First is not that when I tell you to switch from mains to prelims, I will start the program, but if mentally for that switch to happen, it takes time. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, sir. It takes time to switch from mains to prelims model. And in prelims mode, you have to be in prelims mode. It is a mode. It's not like that you're able to balance a lot of things. It's not like you are balancing or managing. You are juggling at best. If you're doing two things, you are juggling at best, which means you're continuously under pressure. You're not stopping. Right? You're juggling and you may be doing that successfully, sometimes unsuccessfully. That's all that happens. So we start that. And second is that a lot of you will come to know about yourself after 2 or 3 weeks. तुमको समझ में आ जाएगा where you are. And sometimes some of you, a majority of you will realize that I was not putting effort and others are. I don't have the discipline and others have. I have not solved any many questions and others have. I have not given those many months to preparation and others have. And depending on that, you will know whether to continue or whether to not do it, which is why you have monthly. This program is monthly. That you know whether to do or not. For example, you have a clear realization, मुझे आगे और करना है या नहीं करना है. You have all the freedom to walk away after 1 month. It's good for you. The relationship is mutual. You can also walk away and we can also let go of people who are not able to perform. And it is the best arrangement that I could think of. Why not to lock someone in a long-term relationship? Isn't it? So it's good for you. So what happens is we start early so that 10 दिन में you will come to know कि अगर मुझे और मेहनत करनी है, then you have still by January 1st week you will know whether, or by January 2nd week you know that this level of effort is not sufficient and you will know what to do. Otherwise what happens, you start in January and February. Then what happens in March, you come to know करना क्या था. In March you know करना क्या था, and now you are nowhere. The train is in front of you. It's at 800 kilometers per hour and you're sitting here. There is not enough time for you to run and get out of its way. You simply go and you जाकर शहीद होकर आते हो कि एक attempt और दे दिया. If you come to know करना क्या था in March, then there's a problem. You have to know करना क्या था in January, and that will not happen by me telling you. That will happen when you will realize it. And how will you realize it? By trying to be part of a group, by simulating it, and then having a the minute you have self-realization, I don't need to tell you. फिर तुम वही करोगे जो मैं चाहता हूँ करोगे. Because then your and my views will then converge. तुम समझ जाओगे कि ये मैं करना, अभी लगेगा कि कुछ there's a hidden agenda, hidden motive, anything else you can think, but then that you know कि अच्छा ये problem है, ये problem आती है. 10 दिन के अंदर पता चल गया कि यार लोग पढ़ते हैं और मैं 3 साल से टाइम पास कर रहा हूँ. ऐसा हो सकता है, कई बच्चों को होता है. Then what is the ideal time for prelims? Depends on who you are. Depends on who you are. If you have cleared, I can tell you very clearly, if you have not written the prelims examination ever, you have the benefit of doubt that maybe your prelims is good. Again, if you have not written the prelims ever, I will give you the benefit of doubt that you are good at prelims and therefore you can continue your optional in January also. If you have failed prelims 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, then you are definitely bad at prelims. It is not me saying that. It is the commission giving you a letter of not recommendation. Right? Letter उसमें रहता है ना, not recommended, finalist mark scorecard. You're not recommended for the mains exam. So I am not saying this. It is an official document that clearly tells you if you think you are in doubt that whether you are good in prelims or not, upsc.gov.in will give you a letter saying that not good. It does not use the word good. It simply says not recommended for mains. So once you have that document, you should have clarity. I repeat, once you have that document, you should have clarity that you are not good in prelims. When that clarity is, and that clarity should not come from coaching, from that UPSC has given an official document, लिख कर दिया है print में, print out लोगे तो भी वही लिखा रहेगा not recommended. It's not virtual, it's real. You take a control P and save a PDF. It will be everywhere, it will be not recommended. So you have an official document that tells you. Otherwise क्या होगा? A lot of you will have your own image in your mind. So therefore you will think, nahin, my prelims is good. That time an accident happened. Now 2 times accident has happened. Think of it, you have a younger sibling. 2 बार बाइक से गिर गया है ना. पूछोगे कैसे गिर गया, तो 80 के ऊपर चला रहा था. अब पूछोगे आज क्या, आज फिर जा रहे हो घूमने, बोला हाँ दोस्तों के साथ बाइक राइड पर. क्या है, बाइक रेसिंग हो रही. तुम कहोगे ना कि बेटा 2 बार तुम एक्सीडेंट कर चुके हो, बाइक रेसिंग तुम्हारे लिए नहीं है. या ये कह दोगे कि जा बेटा जी ले अपनी जिंदगी. कहोगे ना कि बेटा ठीक है बाइक रेसिंग करना चाहिए, लेकिन मेरे भाई तुम्हारे लिए बाइक रेसिंग नहीं है. 2 बार तुम, एक घुटना इधर एक घुटना उधर हो चुका है तुम्हारा. You will give this advice, yes or no? You will give this advice probably. So therefore now you have a document which is not recommended. It is a clarity. You should get that clarity not from me, from your score, but you are getting a document from upsc.gov. Because if it is instead of not recommended, it is recommended, then your career trajectory changes, your year changes. So for people who are foundation, you should know, but then I would say that right one level, you'll know how prelims is done and you will know what is the game and how much effort. That itself, my dear friends, will inspire you to study for throughout the year. Those who have not cleared prelims for 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, please start as early as possible. Take SFG level 1 more seriously. And again, I'm telling you, those who are having any doubt, they should do level 1 or level 2. Please do level 1. Because if you're good, you do level 1, you have all the lessons and then you can do anything you like from March. But what happens is, you see most of the times how knowledge works is that जिसको जितना कम पता है, ठीक है, so for example you know only this much, this is your knowledge, all right, and I often make this diagram. This is the universe of knowledge. Your knowledge of how much you don't know is only this much. You know कि ये नहीं पता है, ये नहीं पता है, I don't know this, I don't know this. Why? Because you know less, so you also think you don't know little things. Now somebody who knows more, if this is his area of knowledge or sphere of knowledge, for him, his idea of what he doesn't know is very huge. उसको लगता है मुझे ये भी नहीं पता. So again I'm telling you, with a clear letter of not recommendation from the UPSC, with a very clear letter कि ये recommended नहीं है mains के लिए. Most of you, if you have given 2 attempts and you have 2 such letters or don't accumulate them. They are not trophy. उसको frame में मत कराना. अच्छी चीज नहीं है वो. देखिए मेरे बच्चे ने 2 साल दिया है UPSC का prelims, not recommended का ये score card है. Not a good thing to frame. फोटो फ्रेम नहीं लगाना है इनका. तो क्या होगा, आपको कम पता है तो लगेगा कि मुझे ज्यादा आता है, यही चीज, इतनी ही चीजें तो नहीं आती हैं. अच्छा, द वन हु नोज मोर, उसको लगेगा यहां भी फंस सकता हूं, हियर ऑल्सो आई कैन गेट इन ट्रबल, हियर ऑल्सो आई कैन गेट इन ट्रबल. ही नोज, समबडी हुज गॉन थ्रू ऑल द फेज ऑफ एग्जाम, ही नोज कि भाई प्रीलिम्स में ये भी दिक्कत हो सकती है, मेंस में ऐसे में मार्क्स कम हो सकते हैं. उसको पता है ऑप्शनल, माय ऑप्शनल हैज नॉट बीन, ही हैज सो मेनी थिंग्स. एंड देन ही नोज इन पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट लास्ट ईयर somebody got 65 marks, he is worried about that also. You are thinking कि इंटरव्यू तो मैं जाऊंगा और कहेंगे कि वाह, है ना, right? I meet such students, I meet a diversity of them, so I know that the student will be very self-assured. He has more confidence in him than I have in myself sometimes. Okay, guys, sir, I know one thing. I said, what? That if I clear the prelims, I will get a very single digit rank. I said, why? Then the guy will say, then I say, okay, interview. He says, sir, interview में I know कि मैं इंटरव्यू में हो सकता है मैं, I don't want to speak more about myself, but I may end up getting the highest marks in interview. इतना कॉन्फिडेंस है उसको, देखो. So why will happen? यहीं पर बैठे यहीं से सोच रहे हैं, और सर don't want to be very confident, but all my friends say that if you clear the prelims, तुमको rank 1 आएगा ही. ऐसे हैं तुम्हारे कुछ दोस्त जो कह देते हैं कि प्रीलिम्स हो गया तो रैंक 1 आएगा. मत दोस्ती करो ऐसे लोगों से. खुश होकर कह रही है कि ऐसे दोस्त हैं मेरे. अरे वो तुमसे चाय का बिल पे करवा रहे हैं, है ना. 4 लोगों का फ्लैट है, तुमसे सुबह कॉफ़ी बनाते हो तो तुमको कहते हो रैंक 1 तो तुम्हारा ही आएगा. मेरे लिए बुलाओगे, मैं भी कहना शुरू कर दूंगा कि प्रीलिम्स तुम्हारा हो गया तो. लेकिन प्रीलिम्स देने भी जाएगा जिस दिन, उस दिन भी कहेगा कि सुबह का चाय तुम्हारे ही हाथ से पी के जाऊंगा. उसके बाद उसका होगा, तुम चाय बनाते रह जाओगे. तुम लास्ट में चाय पत्ती बचे हुए हैं ना, थैली में जमा करके कूड़े वाले को दोगे, और फिर कलेक्ट करोगे कि 100 रुपीज़ कूड़े वाले लिया है, 33 दो, सब लोग पेटीएम करो. राइट? ये नहीं करना है, ज़्यादा सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस में नहीं रहना है. व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, वी हैव टू बी अ लिटिल ऑब्जेक्टिव, वी हैव टू बी अ बिट रियलिस्टिक. समटाइम्स जो नंबर है उसको हम लोग सीरियसली ले लें अपने. यस. Then managing option with prelims. How many of you are having this problem? Managing option with prelims. We'll take this a little seriously. आगे वाले बच्चे कुछ नहीं. Okay. तुम लोग मेंस लिखे हो पहले, जो हाथ रेस कर रहे हो. देखो एक चीज पहले समझो. Let us get it sorted out very well. If it is your first attempt, I think it is going to be your first attempt or something. In that case, I don't know how your optional is. You may, हो सकता है you may be brilliant in prelims and in your optional. You go on with your option studies till Jan at all if you feel like on mid of Feb. Also because you have less time, it's your first attempt, so you have not gotten the time, so you may go ahead with it. But the minute you feel that your optional is taking a toll on your prelims, then you prioritize prelims. When? In winters. ठीक है, जैसे ही लगे कि optional के चक्कर में I'm going to write the prelims and I'm going to fail prelims, then you prioritize prelims. You have to be very clear with that. If you don't have that clarity and you are struggling, then there is a problem. Now, those of you who have given the exam 2 years, 3 years, or 3 साल के बाद भी, you feel that the minute December comes and somebody tells you to study for prelims, you feel that option का क्या होगा? You have a disease, it is called negligence. You like to neglect the important things. Negligence is a disease. What happens is, whole throughout the year when I'll ask you, ऑप्शनल क्यों नहीं पढ़ा जून में, जुलाई में, अगस्त में, सितंबर में, अक्टूबर में, नवंबर में, देन यू से भूल गए थे, दिसंबर में याद आता है। फिर फेल करने के बाद मैं कहूँगा है ना, प्रीलिम्स क्यों नहीं पढ़ा, एंड यू विल कम इन जून की सर नेक्स्ट टाइम प्लीज टेल मी एनीथिंग, आई विल डू एनीथिंग बट आई वांट टू गेट क्लियर द प्रीलिम्स एंड आई वांट टू गेट अ फॉरेस्ट कट ऑफ ऑल्सो। आई सेड देन in June you are saying this, why in December, January, February, March, April and May why didn't you study for the prelims? सर मैं PSIR का टेस्ट सीरीज वसूलने में लगा हुआ था, है ना। कई बार होगा कि ये वसूल किस लिए, ताकि मतलब समटाइम्स सम पीपल विल, कुछ लोग अपना नुकसान इसलिए करा लेते हैं ताकि दूसरे का नुकसान हो जाए, है ना। वो कह रहे हैं कि टेस्ट सीरीज के मैंने फी पे की है, उसका नुकसान होना चाहिए, मैं टेस्ट इतने लिखूंगा, इस चक्कर में तुम अपना 1 साल दे रहे हो। ये सब नहीं करना है। गेट योर फंडामेंटल्स राइट। इफ यू आर नोइंग व्हाट इज, यू हैव टू नो व्हाट इज टू बी डन एंड यू हैव टू नो व्हाट इज नॉट टू बी डन। Anyone with 2 or more attempts and failed at prelims, even with a small margin or a big margin, please don't do your optional. You want to do optional, you finish it in December. Again, you will read a lot of social media comments that main thing is mains. Even if you cleared the prelims, my optional was not ready, so I flunked. I said वो उसकी problem है, वो तुम्हारी problem नहीं है, वो उसकी problem. Mr. Ambani today will have a problem distributing wealth among his heirs, and because of that it may create a turmoil in the family. And I tell you, for example, मैं इसे, आपका क्या नाम बच्चे, कुणाल को मैं कहूँ कि अंबानी क्यों नहीं बनना है, तो कहेगा सर इतनी प्रॉब्लम है अंबानी को। तो जब वो प्रॉब्लम होगी तब उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना। कुछ बच्चे प्रीलिम्स हर साल फेल कर रहे हैं ताकि वो ऑप्शनल में फेल ना करें। पूछोगे 4-5 साल क्यों फेल कर गए, बोले सर ऑप्शनल में फेल नहीं करना था, इसलिए मैंने सॉल्यूशन निकाल लिया। मैंने कहा क्या सॉल्यूशन था, प्रीलिम्स में फेल कर गए, नहीं करना। बगल में कोई ऐसा है तो मार्क कर लो, फोटो खींच लो, चेहरा देख लो, एसएफजी में उसके बगल में नहीं बैठना, नहीं तो क्या करेगा, एसएफजी के पेपर के बीच में वो लाएगा वो पीएसआईआर का टेस्ट पेपर का सॉल्यूशन और तुमको मेंटली टारगेट करेगा। जैसे ही तुम्हारे नंबर आएंगे एसएफजी में, वो दिखाएगा एसएफजी में कितना भी कर लो, पीएसआर के टेस्ट में तो 155 मेरे ही आए हैं। मुझे लगता है एसएफजी के समय ही मैं मिला था पहली बार, इंटरव्यू भी दिया था। चंडीगढ़ की बच्ची है और उसके बाद हायर अटेम्प्ट होने के कारण यूपीपीसीएस में शी वेंट एंड जॉइंड। थिंक ऑफ इट, चंडीगढ़ से कहाँ, पंचायत ऑफिस बिजनौर। तो मैंने कहा कैसे जी रहे हो, बोले मैम का सपोर्ट है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर मैम का, इंटरव्यू अपीयर्ड हो तो थोड़ी रियायत मिल जाती है। तो इस बार फिर इंटरव्यू के समय मिला, एकदम आई वॉज ऑल्सो वेरी सैड, दुखी हो जाता हूँ। क्यों, मतलब आंसू आ जाते हैं, मेरे भी आंसू आ जाते हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि बच्चों के आते हैं। मुझे सर लास्ट अटेम्प्ट है, जो होना है सो होगा। और फिर उसके बाद इस बार वापस आई, जब रिजल्ट जस्ट रिजल्ट आया तो एकदम से खुश। इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विस है ना, कितनी रैंक है दमनप्रीत, एनीवन नोस? पीएसआर का 299 मार्क्स है उसका, शी वॉज वेरी हैप्पी। हाँ 103 मार्क्स है ना। तो दैट इज हाउ मोस्ट स्टोरीज विल एंड अप। कोशिश ये करना, डोंट हैव योर प्रायोरिटीज रॉन्ग, डोंट एंड अप इन हायर। मतलब ऑप्शनल में पास करने के चक्कर में, ऑप्शनल में अच्छे मार्क्स करने हैं बट प्रीलिम्स फेल होके नहीं, उसका रास्ता प्रीलिम्स फेलियर से नहीं जाता है। ये सब करना है तो यहाँ मत आओ, मतलब है फिर जगह यहाँ पर सीट लिमिटेड है, तुम फेल करा जाओगे, खुद आओगे सीट ले लोगे और उसके बाद जहाँ मुझे रिजल्ट आना, मेरा भी मोटिवेशन कम हो जाएगा। उसके बाद करंट अफेयर्स ऑफ प्रीलिम्स, I'll give you 2 mantras. One is SFG Essential magazine कर लो, you don't need to do it. We have dozens of students who have done SFG Essential and not done any monthly PT 365 या monthlies नहीं किए हैं। मैं अभी नहीं, मल्टीपल एग्जाम्पल्स दे देता हूँ। मतलब फाउंडेशन की बच्ची 3 years back, he was my classmate in Tata Institute of Social Sciences and when she came तो मुझे लगा डिस्काउंट मांगेगी, तो मैंने कहा क्या बात है ना। Then she said no आयुष, I don't want a discount, मुझे चाहिए कि थोड़ा ध्यान दे देना आप। और मुझे लगा दोस्तों में कहेगी कि आयुष डिड नॉट गिव अ सिंगल, अच्छा नहीं होता तो फजीहत होती दोस्तों में कि यार कैसी एकेडमी रन कर रहे हैं, कोई जा रहा है वहाँ फेलफुल होकर आ रहे हैं लोग. बट एक अटेम्प्ट में शी गॉट रैंक, शी गॉट IAS, शी गॉट झारखंड कैडर. बोकारो में SDM लगी हैं अभी. आखिरी बार किसी की पैरवी के लिए उन्होंने बात की थी. ये भी अच्छा लगता है कई बार कि तुम पैरवी के लिए नहीं फ़ोन करो, वही पैरवी के लिए फ़ोन कर रहे हैं तुम्हें ना. सो आई सेड हाउ डिड यू क्लियर द प्रीलिम्स इन वन अटेम्प्ट. मैं भी बच्चों को कहूँगा. देन शी सेज कि मैंने वो मैगजीन जो आती थी पतली सी, वो भी मैं करती थी. तो ऐसे कि आउट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी मैंने पूछा कि क्यों नहीं किया ये सब. बच्चे तो दिन भर परेशान रहते कि ये 365 कर लो, ये आया, ये नया आया है. बोली आयुष आई डिड नॉट नो अबाउट देम, इट वॉज माई फर्स्ट अटैम्प्ट. तो इसलिए क्या था ना कि मुझे जो दिया गया था फोरम की तरफ से उसको मैंने अच्छे से कर लिया था, तो मुझे पता ही नहीं था. शायद 2-3 साल दिया होता इस एग्ज़ाम को तो पता चल जाता फर्स्ट अटैम्प्ट में. उसका एक फ़ायदा ये हुआ कि कई सारे दोस्त जो अलाइड सर्विसेज में थे सबका फ़ोन आना शुरू हुआ कि प्रांजल का IAS मिल गया, हम लोग भी पेपर दे दें क्या फोरम में. फिर से अटेम्प्ट्स बचे हुए थे लोगों के. तो कुछ लोग दुखी भी हो गए जो साथ में क्लासेस में थे. एग्जाम पहले निकाला था 4-5 साल 6 साल पहले, लेकिन अब देखें कि उनसे कई. बट देयर वाज एन एज डिफरेंस आल्सो व्हेन वी वर इन टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट सोशल साइंस. वी वर लाइक नियरिंग 30, 31, 32 एंड शी वाज लाइक 22 ईयर्स ओल्ड. अब 6-7 साल के बाद सडनली शी वाज हायर साइज होते, बाकी सबके अटेम्प्ट्स खत्म हो गए थे. 1-2 सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस का भी फ़ोन आया कि अभी भी लोगों का हो रहा है कि हमारे एज वालों का. मैंने कहा नहीं, वो कम एज की है, अभी तुम सेट हो रखे हो, है ना. मतलब अटेम्प्ट्स बाकी थे, 32 एज लिमिट हो गई थी. देन आई गॉट अ कॉल फ्रॉम अ सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस. ही सेड आयुष अभी भी हो रहा है. नहीं, अब तुम शादी कर लिया, बच्चे कह रहे हो, उस पर फोकस करो, पेपर के चक्रव्यूह में नहीं फंसो. हो जाता है कुछ लोगों को दुख कि यार इसका हो गया IAS में और मेरा नहीं हुआ ना. CA for prelims, SFG essentials second is, I can tell you, current affairs for prelims Sahil sir will be doing. CA for prelims, it is the best for prelims, I can guarantee you that. इसलिए क्योंकि मेरे इंटरव्यू अपीयर्ड स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उन्होंने मुझे बोल दिया है कि सर इंटरव्यू के बाद मिस आउट किया था, CA क्लासेस साहिल सर की थी, आपको 5-6 क्वेश्चन ऐसे वो करा देंगे जो बाकी कहीं नहीं रहेंगे. इट वॉन्ट बी एनीवेयर, but he will be doing it. If you can do it, please do it. It will be 3 classes in a week, maybe from February, it may start early. But you please do it. Again, the only reason why you should do it is, I'm telling you, not because there is no other way to do current affairs. That's not the case. The only reason you should do it is, bacha log, you will be studying so much literature, white paper, black font, that in the end what happens is, and because of SFG also, you will study so much that it will stop getting inside your head. पढ़ने में मतलब पढ़ते रहोगे और दिमाग में. That is when you need audio visual tools, which means if you have heard it, then what will happen is when you see this hearing, why sometimes classes are useful, especially for prelims or mains, is when you develop confusion, then you don't remember what you have read, but you'll always remember what someone said. याद रहती है किसी की कही हुई बात. अंत में यही होता है, लास्ट में जो सिलेक्शन होता है. तो मैं बहुत खुश होता हूँ, कोई एथिक्स का स्टूडेंट है विद अ गुड रैंक. तुम एथिक्स की स्टूडेंट थी, फिर बाद में उस साल शी वॉज नॉट राइटिंग द मेन, देन शी वेंट टू FRC. प्रीलिम्स फिर क्लियर हुआ, मेंस क्लियर हुआ. तो आई थॉट कि शी विल से कि एथिक्स नोट से ये आ गया. बट व्हेन यू आस्क देम कि व्हाट हेल्प्ड यू, दे विल नॉट से कि क्लास नोट से हुआ. वो कहेंगे सर आपने ये बात कही थी ना, इसके कारण मुझे बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ, उसके बाद आई वॉज एबल टू क्लियर द एग्जाम एंड आई वॉज एबल टू डू इट. तो आपको हमेशा जो कही हुई बातें हैं, जब भी कन्फ्यूजन होगा ग्रेट इंडियन बस्टर्ड एनिमल है या बर्ड है, तो कुछ लोगों को हो जाता है, then you will remember what the teacher has said and that will dispel your this. Not just CA classes but also sprint. We have enough number of student. ठीक है, एक बच्ची बहुत परेशान थी, अभी उसका हो गया स्प्रिंट, है ना. शी इज राइटिंग द मेंस, होपफुली शी विल अपीयर फॉर द इंटरव्यू, हो जाना चाहिए. एंड यस, देन सम ऑफ यू हैव सेड व्हाट इज, आई एम गुड, दोज हु आर गुड एट आंसर राइटिंग बट बैड एट प्रीलिम्स. बच्चा, आंसर राइटिंग इज वन पिलर ऑफ सक्सेस एंड द अदर इज ऑब्जेक्टिविटी इन मेकिंग. सी रिमेंबर वन, एक गुरु मन समझ लो. एक FRC में एक बंदे आए, his unique achievement was that when he came to forum, he came that I have cleared IRTS, IRS and IPS. मैं हर बार क्लास में बताता हूँ, आपको भी बताऊँ, some of you may be new. So and he got last में he got IAS and he came and he said कि sir now I want to write the exam again because I can't go to the northeast. So I'll leave IAS and then I'll write the exam again. And so there were 3 people sitting. तो मैंने कहा हराओ, पूछा क्या, कार्डर बेस्ड मैरिज कर लो, बेस्ट वे टू चेंज योर कार्डर. फिर वो पीछे हटा, फिर कहा सर दिस इज माई वाइफ, शी इज टीचर इन यूपी. तो एंड थर्ड वाज The third woman there was one of my family members who had cleared the IPS exam. उसी बैच में जा रही थी वो. अब मुझे पता चला कि ये घर में भी बताएगी सबको कि ऐसा हुआ इनके साथ. ऐसी बोगस एडवाइस इन्होंने दी किसी को, है ना. तो they did cadre based marriage later. मतलब the one in my family. ठीक है. तो फिर he said, and I was not very confident somebody should leave IAS because you need everything to work in your favor. But then we worked on content. In the end, he got 69 rank in civil services. He got UP cadre IAS also. UP cadre IAS of Northeast छोड़कर UP cadre IAS मिल गया उसको. So people get what they want. So I called him to take a talk to Farsi students. So somebody asked that, sir, I'm able to eliminate 2 choices. और 2 के साथ, what should I do? He said कि देखो, I'm an IAS officer. I have 10 choices in every situation. I don't know, I can't eliminate even 5 of them. I can't eliminate 2 of them. In the end, beyond a point, I'm sure those of you who've written the prelims exam will appreciate this, that in the end, prelims examination will, in the end, I'm not saying in the beginning it's a knowledge test. In the middle, it is a problem solving test. In the third stage and the final stage, my bachcha log, in the end, it will become a test of your decision making skills. In the final stage at the prelims paper is a test of your decision making skills. This will include decisions such as which one is the correct option, as well as which questions to leave, as well as whether 94 attempt karne hai ya nahi. And if you make errors in those decisions, then you will be trouble in service and you will be trouble in prelims. And if you make errors in those decisions, then you will have riots in your city where you are responsible for. Your seniors will not be happy with you. You will be messing up every day at workplace because any decision will take 12-15 lakh will immediately affect ho jayenge usse. Right? And here, the same if you lack those decision making skills. So my dear friends, I want to tell all of you, even in SFG, maybe in level 1 you will have more knowledge based tests, but as you'll proceed for level 2, you will not like it, but in the end, it will be a test of your decision making skills. You will have to take decisions and you'll have to make sure, and you will have to make sure that you develop that aptitude of making good decisions. And don't expect, neither in forum simulator nor in actual exam, don't expect that. अंत में मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ पढ़ना नहीं है, पढ़ना बच्चे जरूर है, गलत मत सुन लेना, ये पार्शियल रील मत देख लेना कि डिसीजन मेकिंग सीखना है, अब अलग ही खेल खेल रहे हैं पढ़ना लिखना छोड़ के. पढ़ना लिखना करना है, you have to have that knowledge base, right? But beyond that knowledge base, it will be a test of your decision making skills, which is necessary for which the exam becomes subjective. And I'll not be happy if I'm very sad because of the subjectivity of the exam, but partially I also know that it will make sure that the students, sometimes the decisions are difficult, that the commission is also not able to take a decision in the final answer key, bringing so much torture. But that is the nature of the job later. Pata hi nahi hai kya kare. You don't know which decision of yours will backfire because that time you don't know. You will come to know after the decision has been implemented. You will come to know after the decision has been implemented. This is always the case in government policy, isn't it? Suppose you decide that you will implement 100% ban on stubble burning in the farmer. What is your fear as a government? It's a public decision. The government has said, and they asked, the CM asked the IAS officers for a ministerial advice. What are the fear? That after the decision is successfully implemented, pollution bhi nahi kam hua, and 2 states have voted you out also. ये खतरा है या नहीं? Yes or no? तो ये खतरे रहेंगे वहाँ भी, यहाँ पर भी खतरे रहेंगे कि 2 एलिमिनेट किया, 2 बचे हैं, उसमें चॉइस जो मारा है, पता चला पहला ही जो एलिमिनेट किया था वही करेक्ट आंसर था. ये रहेगा. You'll have to learn to navigate through this. Which is why what is needed is that the number of, basically I say 30 to 40 questions, everybody will know the answer. Beyond that 30 to 40 will be based on the knowledge that you have. And after that, it will completely be based on, the last set of questions will be completely a test of your decisions. But then I'm promising you one thing, if you are practicing your decisions and then you are recording it and you are analyzing it, you will become better at it. All right? So those of you who are good at answer writing, generally what I have found is that people who are good at answer writing, they sometimes, because they are good at it. So what happens when we are good at something? When we are good at something, एक तो क्या होगा कि you will start जो करना जिस चीज में you will see. So what will, if you are good at something, you will find success in it or failure in it. You will find success in it if you are good at something. Now if you will succeed, you will get your dopamine. You will do it more and more. And you're not good at prelims. You don't like what Wavell did, or why, or what Warren Hastings did. You don't like it, so you do less of it. It doesn't give you a dopamine every time you're struggling with it. So you become worse at it, and what you're good at it, you become better at it. You become better at it. So therefore, what happens is that sometimes I've seen is that when people who are not good at prelims, when they write the mains examination, they clear it in one attempt. I can tell you this because if you see last year's rank 1, so after the interview, I had this feeling it was her first mains. The last year's rank 1. So after the interview, I realized it was her first mains. So I knew that she was a good candidate. Means everybody felt in the board also. You must have seen the video, that there's a video, the board is saying that you will get rank 1 and the student is crying or something. So the board also gave feedback, she's a good candidate. Now my whole concern with that candidate was, so she had studied in Delhi, went back to hometown, and then she came to Delhi. Now I knew one thing, that if she goes back from here, then we'll lose track of her. All right, then we'll lose track of her. So I told her one thing, and I don't want to, and I had this doubt that it is her first mains. It may be a little fragile. She may not get through, but then next year she will definitely get through. But for me to tell this, it is very difficult because the student thinks कि मेरा इस बार नहीं होगा, and second is जब नहीं होता, then you tell them तुम्हारा अगली बार हो जाएगा, then also he doesn't believe it, and you have no right to tell something. You have no right to make such forecast. So 2 बच्चों का मुझे याद है, मैंने बहुत अच्छे से बोला था. तो आई टोल्ड हर कि अगर नहीं होता है तो दिल्ली में रहना, वापस घर मत जाना, टच में रहना. एंड बिकॉज माई ओनली कंसर्न वाज दैट आई नो दैट इफ शी विल राइट द एग्जाम अगेन, शी विल कम बैक फॉर द इंटरव्यू, और इस बार उसका हो जाएगा अगर किसी भी रीजन से नहीं होगा. और दूसरा एक बच्चा है चित्रकूट का, जिस पर बड़े गाने वाने भी, ये है हिंदी माध्यम का, एक अर्पित इज हिज नेम, फ्रॉम चित्रकूट, हिंदी मीडियम का टॉपर है. So I saw that he was doing very well in SFG and AWFG. It was not happening in Hindi medium. He used to do it in English paper, and he used to उसी में करता था. Solution हिंदी में नहीं थे, लेकिन वो he was doing it. So he written a mail that can I attempt. उस समय translation was not available. Now I know that he was a bright candidate. ये ठीक कर लेगा because he had clarity. So if you see my 1-to-1 conversation with him, तो मैंने बोला कि अगर कुछ गड़बड़ होगा तो patience रख के अगले साल दे देना. Because generally what will happen is you've reached the highest stage in the interview. Now the minute you fall from there, you come shattering down and you're not able to pick yourself up. And now you have no motivation to study. Plus you start thinking, interview mein nahi hua, it is all luck. In the end, life is luck. In the end, life is luck. Half the population is one cancer away from poverty. Right? Most of us are, most families in India are just doing well, very prosperous. One disease happens and then you're back to poverty. Most families. So it is all luck. In the end, it's all luck. In the end. But in the beginning, it's not all luck. In the journey, it's not all luck. So this candidate, and thankfully, he did not have to wait. They say that year he got 133 or 134 rank. Mukherjee Nagar Center से काफी बच्चे थे वहाँ से. So this is what I want to say. कि what happens is, if you're good with answer writing, you have to make sure you may be doing quite well, but then वो मौका मिलेगा तब ना. And for that, to do things that you want to do, such as write good mains answer, you have to do things that you must do. That is, prepare for the prelims. And therefore, your ability to succeed will depend on doing things that you don't like, such as slogging for the prelims examination. Then, number of questions to attempt. आगे हम देखेंगे इसको discussion में. Note making, please only do limited note making for prelims. Don't do it for the standard books. Please only do for those where you're not able to gather resources. ये नहीं कि पूरी you're making notes for everything. Please learn the habit of reading from the books. And remember, for prelims, one golden rule is minimum 3 to 5 revisions. At least 5 revision के बाद you are in the game. Below 5 revisions, don't make it college. That I've studied but I'm not able to answer. You know what some students will do? They take it like a college exam. They study. Then they attempt the question. Now they are not able to do well. Instead of going and revising it, वो सोचते हैं टेस्ट सीरीज बदल लेते हैं. क्या पता दूसरी टेस्ट सीरीज में नंबर अच्छे आ जाए, है ना. जबकि करना क्या था, दोबारा जाकर किताब, पेपर ऑफ यूपीएससी विल ऑलवेज बी, और इवन अ टेस्ट पेपर विल बी सच दैट इफ यू हैव रेड इट वंस you will get it wrong. If you are not getting it wrong, it means paper is not good. Also, I'll also want to tell कि forum में क्या क्या चीजें जो है. Yes, a few things that if at all you don't want to do SFG and you are sitting at home, तो बिल्कुल इसको कर लो and simulate any exam environment. It is a very good collection. मतलब मैं बता रहा हूँ, पिछली बार after prelims mains के लिए बच्चों को बुलाया था, उसमें से बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे थे जिन्होंने selectively books को कर लिया था या tool kit के 60 to 70% they had solved it and they had cleared the prelims for the very first time. So you can do that. Apart from that, if you do that, then there is SFG, which we'll all doing. And those of you who think that who need extra या फिर pressure में आया, see if you are not able to perform in SFG, then what you should do is you should please plan for Sprint and SFG level 2. Sprint and SFG level 2 is what you should plan for. This is also fairly, there are good number of people who have written the mains from this. And those of you prelims, then you will say, sir, residential के बारे में बच्चे ने पूछा था. See, residential first core objective, you understand, residential is everything that we are doing here. Except two things, we have better monitoring of the students, because some students, they are not able to clear despite everything good credential. Like school में भी 90% नंबर लाए हैं, प्लस 10 12 में भी, कॉलेज भी ठीक ठाक किया, और यहीं पर आकर है ना, मतलब 4 साल प्रीलिम्स फेल कर जाते हैं. एंड इट डज नॉट, देयर प्रोफाइल डज नॉट एड अप. इट्स समथिंग लाइक कि कहाँ हो तो चाचा अंबानी है और यू नो फादर इन लॉ अडानी है, और तुम क्या कर रहे हो, तो मतलब 10,000 की नौकरी कर रहे हो कहीं पर. तो लगता है ना कि यार ये प्रोफाइल होने के बाद तुम यहाँ क्या कर, कैसे आए हो, तो रिक्शे पर आया हूँ. और प्रोफाइल में लिखा है कि वन साइड यू आर रिलेटेड टू अंबानीज एंड द अदर साइड यू आर रिलेटेड. सो ये मैथ है ना, कहोगे कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, ये वही वाले अंबानी है दूसरे, तो फिर पता चलेगा नहीं ये दूसरे वाले अंबानी है ना, ये अडानी तो नहीं, ये अडानी तो नहीं है, वो वाले नहीं है, कुछ और है, तब समझ में आएगा ना. सो सिमिलरली दिस इज फॉर पीपल हु लैक द डिसिप्लिन. And again, I'm saying you give yourself 2 attempts, but if it is not working out, then you go apply for this residential. And here the game is very simple. It is simple that you have, because it is a gated campus, so it's just, you will have a SFG only. The only thing is that you won't have a dog problem or a vehicle hitting you from back. And also some people have a pollution. So jinko, we move the campus to a different location for the simple problem is, from the very first batch who came, and a lot of people came from south and northeast and coastal areas, and a lot of them got asthmatic coming to Delhi. जिसको नहीं है, तो जिसको प्रॉब्लम है, तो it is better if you want to go there. And don't think कि बहुत कोई एलियन सी जगह, यहीं के बच्चे हैं, बहुत बच्चे हैं यही SFG के ही कुछ बच्चे अभी मेंस लिखने के बाद गए हैं यहीं से. अभी मेंस की क्लास हो रही थी, उसके बाद मेंस लिखा है, कुछ बच्चे वहाँ से गए हैं, तो यहीं के बच्चे. इट्स नॉट लाइक कि कोई बहुत अतरंगी. एंड येस, ऑफ कोर्स, टू हैव अ नेशनल डाइवर्सिटी वी हैव 2 seats फॉर एवरी स्टेट. तो हर स्टेट से 2 बच्चे हैं, सो दैट देयर इज अ ऑल इंडिया, यू नो, यू हैव अ कॉस्मोपॉलिटन क्राउड देयर. तो वो कर सकते हो. उसका बेनिफिट जो है बस ये है कि यही सब करवाएंगे, बट ये है कि वहाँ पकड़ लेंगे अगर ये नहीं करोगे तो. मेस में जैसी एक्स्ट्रा रोटी लोगे, कोई रोक लेगा तुम्हें, है ना, कि इस बच्चे ने रोटियां ज़्यादा खाई हैं और टेस्ट कम लिखे हैं. कुछ बच्चे करते हैं ऐसा. मकान मालिक को किराया ज़्यादा दिया है, लेकिन किताब, कॉपी, कलम, कोचिंग, उस पर खर्च एकदम नहीं किया है. जो काम करने आए हैं उसको छोड़कर सारे काम कर लिए हैं यहाँ पर दिल्ली में. एंड द क्राउड विल बी गुड देयर, विच मीन्स दैट द क्राउड विल बी लाइक SFG and even more competitive, because 2-3 benefits you have. One is that you have a library where people are studying till 12 AM. एक तो वहाँ रात भर, जब जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेवल 1 के क्वेश्चन नहीं किए हैं, तो लोग उसको डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि यार ये पेपर छूट गया, तो यू नो यू हैव अ पीयर ग्रुप. यू कैन हैव इट इन योर फ्लैट ऑल्सो, आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू कैन हैव इट हियर ऑल्सो, बट वो है कि गेटेड कम्युनिटी है, सो इट्स लाइक दैट. And the other is that, so there is competition, like you're going away at 1 AM, then also somebody is studying at 2. You're going there at 6 AM, then also somebody is there at 5 AM. एक तो ये, दूसरा ये कि hostels are designed in a manner कि सबके दरवाजे के ऊपर है ना, so if this is the door, उसके ऊपर एक लाइटेड फ्रॉस्टेड ग्लास लगा हुआ है कि तुम्हारी लाइट जलेगी तो हॉस्टल में सबको पता चल जाएगा. दैट ऑल्सो इंश्योर्स गुड कॉम्पिटिशन. तो वहाँ पर थोड़ा आसान होता है. जैसे 10th क्लास में लोग जिन्होंने अच्छी पढ़ाई की है, किसी बच्चे ने 10th क्लास में पढ़ने के लिए कभी रात में 1-2 बजे तक पढ़ाई की है किसी ने 10th क्लास के लिए, गुड. या कभी 3 बजे उठे हो सुबह, तो बस वहाँ पर वही हो जाएगा. और इसलिए हो जाएगा क्योंकि बाकी लोग कर रहे हैं, तो थोड़ा आसान हो जाएगा. अगर आपका सर्कल है तो यू डोंट नीड टू गो देयर, प्लस पोल्यूशन की. तो दिस इज व्हाट इज देयर, यू डू इट. इफ एक चीज़ का क्लैरिटी रखना बच्चे की. कई बार क्या होता है ना कि जैसे सम स्टूडेंट्स आई फाइंड देम दे आर स्ट्रगलिंग फॉर सम स्टूपिड रीजन. जैसे कि पूछोगे कि व्हाट आर यू स्ट्रगलिंग विद, बोलोगे सर आई एम देयर इन द लाइब्रेरी बट आई एम नॉट एबल टू स्टडी इन द लाइब्रेरी. They say, so what I did you? He said, I'm trying but I'm not studying. I said, how long have you been struggling? Well, I said, for the past 2 months. They said, why don't you study in the room? Then the guy said, sir, I paid the library fee. That's not a good enough reason to waste your days. मतलब मैंने अगर एंटीबायोटिक ज़्यादा खरीद लिए तो ऐसा थोड़ी कि मैं दवाई ज़्यादा खा जाऊँगा, नहीं तो एक्सपायर हो जाएगी. मैं उतनी दवाई खाऊंगा जितनी की ज़रूरत है मुझे. Then some students will say, sir, I'm studying in my room. I said, what's the problem? I'm not able to study. There's no mahal, there's no peer group. I want to join the library. I said, why you're not joining it? He says कि sir I have to मतलब मंथ एंड में ज्वाइन, कुछ ऐसे इस तरह के फ्रिवोलस बहाने होंगे. मतलब एक चीज़ मैं बताता हूँ बच्चे, पढ़ाई लिखाई का काम ऐसा है, आई रिपीट, nature of studies is such that few days you'll join the library, 2-3 days you'll study very well there, then you'll reach a peak and then you will plummet from there. At that point, it is okay if you change your location and you go to your room. Then 2-3 days you have a eureka moment कि अरे असली पढ़ाई कहाँ होती है? रूम पे होती है. और फिर 3-4 दिन के बाद you will peak and then you will plummet. Then you will again realize and come back to the life. So you'll be moving in circles. I say, what happened, sir? I had a turning point in my preparation. I said, what? I realized I study better in the library. 2 weeks later, says, I have another turning point in my life. I said, what? I realized I better study in my room. If you have too many turning points in your life, perhaps you are moving in a circle. I repeat, if you have too many turning points in your life, perhaps you are moving in a circle. So nature of studies is such that you will keep changing location. If you are staying here, library का भी subscription लो, घर पे भी पढ़ो. जब 3 दिन की पढ़ाई के बाद you have plummeted there, then you change your location. This is how everybody does it. इसमें doubt रहेगा ना. इस और do not never. I'm telling you one more thing. When you are in the pursuit of an ambition, do not let any other consideration apart from what is the ultimate goal affect you. ये नहीं हो सकता है कि लाइब्रेरी की सब्सक्रिप्शन है नहीं, क्योंकि ये जोड़ घटाव अभी करोगे, इट विल कम बैक टू यू एंड मल्टीप्लाई. देखो बच्चे, यू आर स्टूडेंट्स राइट नाउ, यू आर नॉट अर्निंग इज परफेक्टली ऑल राइट, बट रिमेंबर आफ्टर दिस यू विल बी अर्निंग द लेबर मार्केट, यू विल बी जॉइनिंग द वर्क फोर्स, यू विल बी अर्निंग मनी, यू विल बी वर्किंग एंड यू विल बी वर्किंग टिल यू डाई. इसके बाद पूरे जीवन काम करना है तुमको, और जब काम करोगे तो कहोगे कि यार इससे बढ़िया पढ़ा. अभी हर बच्चा इंक्लूडिंग सेलेक्टेड लोग भी कहते हैं कि पढ़ाई इससे ज़्यादा बढ़िया थी. एक तो पढ़ते पढ़ते इंटेलेक्चुअल डेवलपमेंट हो जाता है, तो सब चाहते हैं कि और पढ़ने को मिले. और वहाँ पर कई बार काम क्या होता है, काम ये होगा कि ये इलीगल एसिड सप्लाई कर रहा है, जाओ 4 सिपाही के साथ डंडे मार के आओ. अब लगता है इतनी पढ़ाई के बाद ये सब नहीं हो पाएगा, या वहाँ धरना प्रदर्शन हो रहा है, बहुत इस तरह के काम रहते हैं. एनीवे, सो मेक श्योर दैट इफ यू आर हैविंग दीज प्रॉब्लम्स, यू डेवलप क्लैरिटी, यू विल हैव टू बिल्कुल करो, और जितनी जहाँ पढ़ाई कर सकते हो करो. चेंज ऑफ लोकेशन विल ऑलवेज हेल्प यू. Yes, so this is about the SFG residential. So here you have the only benefit, that is that you get integrated campus for all the things. ठीक है? Test series questions plus PYQ, इनमें से कौन सा करना है? बच्चे, PYQ is something, if you claim to be an aspirant, you should have done the PYQs. How many years? As many as you can. Therefore, go in reverse order. Don't say कि sir मैंने 3-4 years का कर लिया है. And how many? Some people have done. You know, the tragedy of civil preparation is that some people have done PYQs. I said, how many years? The guy says 4. I said, why? Sir, मेरा नहीं निकल रहा था. फिर मैं पूछूं कितने साल से? The guy says 4 years. हैं कुछ बच्चे ऐसे क्लास में? फिर अगली लाइन कहेगा, सर वो एक्चुअली PYQ नहीं था, पेपर ही दे दिया था मैंने, बाद में घर आके. तो जब भी आपके मन में कोई सवाल है कितने साल का PYQ करना है, यू नो द आंसर, एज मेनी एज यू कैन. द लिमिटेशन इज नॉट व्हाट इज द आइडियल नंबर, द लिमिटेशन इज यू. ठीक है? कम से कम तो 20 साल का कम से कम तो होना है, 20-21 ईयर्स का कम से कम तो होना ही चाहिए. 13 के बाद का तो ज़रूर होना चाहिए. देयर इज़ नो गुंजाइश कि 13 के पहले का है ना. 2011 और 13 एटलीस्ट शुड बी देयर, एंड एटली एज ब्लॉक. देन विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू टूल किट, येस प्लीज सॉल्व इट, प्लीज सॉल्व. एंड इफ यू हैव डन 70% ऑफ इट, आई कैन गारंटी यू विल क्लियर प्रीलिम्स. उतना लंबा चौड़ा काम नहीं है, बट देन यू दैट गारंटी शुड बी कमिंग फ्रॉम यू ऑल्सो, दैट आई विल ट्राई 100% एंड सेटल फॉर 70%. ऑलराइट, एंड दैट आई थिंक पोस्ट टेस्ट एनालिसिस, ये टेस्ट लिखोगे उसके बाद एक बार हम डिस्कस करेंगे. 5 months बिफोर द प्रीलिम्स व्हाट यू शुड डू, यू शुड डू द प्रीलिम्स. Just like 3 months before the mains, what should you do? You should prepare for the mains exam. ठीक है? इसमें डाउट नहीं रहना. Mindset and temperament. The mindset and temperament, just one line answer. Focus. And focus means saying no to everything else. What does focus mean? Saying no to everything else. I am always afraid of somebody who says कि sir, this time I know I'll clear prelims. I said why? Gulu sir, my focus is good. I said what are you doing? He says कि sir मैं SFG ठीक से कर रहा हूँ, और हर संडे को PSR का टेस्ट सीरीज भी लिख रहा हूँ, और ऐसे भी चला रहा हूँ, और ये भी कर रहा हूँ, वो कर रहा हूँ. वेयर इज द फोकस? फोकस मीन्स सेइंग नो टू एवरीथिंग एल्स एंड डूइंग एक चीज़. मुझे पता है नाउ, आई एम ऑलवेज अफ्रेड ऑफ दिस, बिकॉज जब मैं उसकी कॉपी देखूंगा तो ना SFG ठीक से करेगा, ना PSR टेस्ट सीरीज ठीक से करेगा, ना ऐसे कुछ नहीं करेगा वो. So please learn to develop focus. What should be your mindset and temperament, and that mindset focus that you have to do this every day. You have to win. बच्चों लोग, I'll tell you the course, so there will be a lot of, so नक्कालों से सावधान. अभी बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स SFG टाइप आ जाएंगे, अब सबको पता चल गया है. Sometimes I often see that there's a problem that people are not looking for, they are not seeing a solution, they are only seeing an opportunity. ठीक है, most people are not working for solution, most people are working for opportunities. That should not be it. एक चीज़ जो मैं बताऊंगा, see SFG how it works and how it succeeds, or why so many people are there and why from SFG program is simply because, see, it basically the whole goal is to transform you and your values, or what you think is worth doing. We want some of you to completely transform your preparation, to know that you have to only win. If you win in one front, you end up winning in all fronts. And focus on one small task every day, you will end up, how do we achieve something very significant? By breaking it into the smallest task. Some of you will have this grievance that SFG syllabus is too big for a day. I have a very good student, he's ranked 3 in Indian Forest Service. She had her own struggles, in the end she cleared Indian Forest Service. If you ask her, though she was doing SFG, and you ask her, she will say कि sir मेरा 2 घंटे में syllabus हो जा रहा है, खत्म हो जा रहा है, and I'm wasting my day. Now do you see why? So how much time it is taking you to cover the syllabus depends on where your preparation is. There'll be so many selected candidates with you in SFG. You hear the talk. So he said very good thing. I was, he said कि sir मैं आया and I saw that there was a girl sitting next. So I read her name, and then when I googled I realized that she's in Indian Police Service, and then I realized कि यार इसका IPS होकर ये पेपर देने आ रही है, और फिर मैं कौन सा VIP हो रहा हूँ कि नोएडा से नहीं आ सकता, गुड़गांव से या यहाँ से नहीं आ सकता, then how I cannot come. That was the point where his things changed, did it. So my request to all of you is that please, when your mindset has to be very clear, you're going to do one thing and you're going to do it right. I don't want any, and if somebody tells you on social media or elsewhere that ठीक है, because of doing SFG I got cleared prelims but I cannot clear them, means it's perfectly acceptable. See, I want to tell you one more clear thing. Everybody is trying to tell you, when you are asking that question, you are telling me, sir, there are 2 choices that you are asking me to make. You are believing that there are 2 choices. There is choice 1 and choice 2. This is where the false choice that you are having. Choice 1 is that having a brilliant mains plus brilliant prelims, which means that, sir, I will continue my mains preparation, optional preparation and everything, and then also do SFG, and somehow this is the choice. And the other is having a poor mains plus or brilliant prelims. This is what you are thinking. Sir, when you are saying that please focus only on SFG if you have not cleared prelims for 2 or more times, then you are telling me to do this one, choice 2, that your prelims will be brilliant but you will have poor mains. But this is not the choice between brilliant mains and brilliant prelims. This choice is always the right choice. इसमें तो कोई doubt ही नहीं है. इसको pursue करने के चक्कर में my doubt is that what you will have is, you will have the real thing that if you pursue it is have, what actually happens is choice 3, and now it should make it a little more simple. Now it should make it a little simple. You have brilliant mains and poor prelims. You are unable to see that the choice is not between choice 1 and 2. The choice is between choice 3 and choice 2. And between choice 3 and choice 2, what should you have? Choice 2 is the correct answer, because no matter how brilliant your mains is, prelims agar poor hai, then you are gone. There is no mains, there is not brilliant mains, there is no mains. So some of you think that when I'm taking you to do this, and I will get a hate mail saying that, sir, you are asking to choose between this and this, and you will read on social media that, I did my prelims and I cleared forest cutoff also, but in chasing that, मेरा मेंस खराब हो गया. चेजिंग दैट में ये थोड़ी होने वाला था कि ब्रिलियंट मेंस भी होता, ब्रिलियंट, ये तो होना ही नहीं था, ये तो आइडियल है. दिस इज नॉट व्हाट यू विल बी एबल टू अचीव. इन द एंड, इन चेजिंग दिस, यू विल अचीव ब्रिलियंट मेंस एंड पुअर प्रीलिम्स. इससे बढ़िया है ब्रिलियंट प्रीलिम्स एंड पुअर मेंस. दिस इज मोर एक्सेप्टेबल. इन केस एनी ऑफ यू हैव अ डाउट, यू राइट अ डियर डैड लेटर कि डियर पापा, 3 साल प्रीलिम्स फेल कर गया हूं, मेरे पास 2 चॉइसेस हैं, क्या करना चाहिए. योर पापा डजंट नीड टू क्लियर UPSC. to answer this question. Even if he's running a shop, even if he's not 10th pass, you write a letter to your parents, dear papa or dear mummy, these are the two real choices I have. आप बता दो, इसके लिए common sense चाहिए, इसके लिए UPSC experience is not needed. Obviously, between the three, this is the best choice. But this is not who you are, this is not what you are getting. In the end, you are fighting between these two choices. और ये कर करके हर साल फेल होकर आ रहे हो. How else do you think somebody who's been studying all throughout in school, उसका कैसे नहीं हो रहा है? ठीक है, कुछ बच्चों ने कम पढ़ाई की होगी, ठीक है, तो अब जिन्होंने अभी भी नहीं पढ़ाई, अभी जीवन में पहली बार पढ़ रहे हैं. बट वाई डू ब्राइट किड्स, मतलब जिन्होंने स्कूल में पढ़ाई, देखोगे 10th भी ठीक से किया, 12th भी ठीक से किया, यहाँ अगर कैसे फेल कर रहे हैं? यू हियर इवन रैंक वन शील से, सर मैं गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट हूँ इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी, मैं गोल्ड, मतलब मैं कभी फेल फुल नहीं हुई, यही 5 साल लग गए मेरे को. तो क्या हो जाता है? तो होता क्या है कि ये वाली बीमारी रहती है. एंड देन यू नो व्हेन आई आस्क्ड, आई टोल्ड हर कि SFG, शी सेड वन लाइन कि सर SFG का बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. आई सेड व्हाई? देन शी सेड कि सर एक्चुअली क्या है ना, आप लोगों को थोड़ा जल्दी करना चाहिए, क्योंकि मतलब लेट से होता है तो हम लोग जिनका प्रीलिम्स खराब, बिकॉज शी वॉज अ लॉट वरीड, सो शी वॉज टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑल हर फियर्स. दिस वॉज आफ्टर सिलेक्शन, मतलब नॉट जब हो गया तब मैंने उससे कुछ इनपुट्स मांगे, ठीक है, इट इज़ नॉट ऑन द कैमरा, हो सकता है कुछ चीज़ टॉक में हो. तो शी सेड बहुत क्लियर कि सर मेरा नहीं हुआ, तो फिर मुझे लगा कि क्या FRC के लिए जाना पड़ेगा क्या, क्योंकि प्रीलिम्स के लिए आई वाज अ लिटिल ट्रॉमेटाइज्ड एंड आई हैड वन अटेम्प्ट लेफ्ट. वो तो हो गया, फर्स्ट रैंक आ गई, बट शी सेड यू शुड स्टार्ट अर्ली. बट व्हाई आई वुड नॉट स्टार्ट अर्ली इज बिकॉज जिस समय मेंस, आई नो दैट यू मे हैव अ ट्रॉमा विद प्रीलिम्स इफ इट इज नॉट हैपेंड, बट वाई नॉट स्टार्ट अर्ली इज बिकॉज ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट दिस इंपॉर्टेंट इज सीजनलिटी. विंटर में प्रीलिम्स की पढ़ाई करो और समर में मेंस की पढ़ाई करो, एंड यू नो व्हेन टू स्विच. व्हेन विंटर कम्स, स्विच टू प्रीलिम्स in the current scheme of things. So that is all the things that I wanted to tell you. बाकी MGP versus SFG, MGP के टेस्ट एक चीज़ और बता रहा हूँ. See, prelims is different, mains is different. See, in mains you need issue-based preparation. What I'm seeing currently, so yesterday I had a long call with a student. So she said, I have joined XYZ test series or mentorship program, and I have massive material of study to, and I am thinking that I'll finish that material and I'll write my mains test and I'll score well. Otherwise, and so I said, I wanted to dig deep. What happened? He says, no sir, actually the teacher who's there has said कि मेंस की तैयारी के बिना आप लोग टेस्ट लिख रहे हैं, ठीक है, मेंस की पूरी तैयारी के बिना आप लोग टेस्ट लिख रहे हैं. Yes. So what is there? You prepare this whole thing and then you write the test. This is not how mains works at all. I mean, I'm telling you on several topics, I can tell you that in forum, even if you force me to say that, sir, you create a master mains material, which is having 200 dimensions on gender, women empowerment and gender justice, I will not do it, because what happens is that I see, remember one more thing about mains, which has been a little distorted, and it's my fault I have not created awareness about it. Mains is issue-based preparation. Second is some issues are more important and some issues are less important. It is my job to ensure that more important, you have been traversed through all the ideas. It is my job. Now what is happening is students are reading infinite material, bulky material. Coach, एक overall role समझना competitive exams का, it's never about bulky material. It's always about patla material and reading it. This has been the, so what happens is, for example, you have read about women empowerment or gender issues. Now what happens is you want a comprehensive answer, and then you want कि यहाँ से, if when I get a question, I'm able to write the answer. I'm saying this is not what will happen. In the end, what will happen is, the question that will come on gender next year is, what is the reason behind increasing gender conflict and gender distrust? I repeat, what is the reason behind increasing gender distrust and gender conflict? Are you aware of this topic? Okay, you have not been taught this topic, but are you seeing it? What is the gender distrust? Men are not trusting women and women are not trusting men. Men are in conflict with women and women are in conflict with men. Is this happening, yes or no? Now the point is that I have to see what is the discourse that year, whether that narrative or this is, every day it is society is facing. If society is facing that issue, commission will ask a issue. If it is not an issue, then commission will not. Now you want कि sir इसको भी यहाँ डाल दे और बल्कि 300 सिर्फ women पर दे दे. And now my student is spending 1 month of studying one topic, and then now when he wants that यहीं से पढ़ा हुआ यही MGP test में आ जाए, and then to do well. That's not the goal of MGP or any mains test series. If somebody is doing it, they are doing it wrong. If somebody is saying that read the material and then write the test and you are doing it, then you have done. No, that's not the case. The purpose of mains is to make you think and open your mind. So for the very first time, you will start thinking, gender conflict, ऐसा मैंने नहीं सोचा था. Now the question and the solution must be able to enlighten you. So when you get a question, you see gender distrust, and that is how why you will see for students like Indian Economic Service, she got, I think, 250 rank IPS first time, and second time she got 5th rank. Okay, so both the years they have done. Now, what is the reason that why? So they have written a very good testimonial that predictive power of MGP is very high. Whatever questions come, they are asked in MGP and they come in UPSC. Now, what is the reason for it? See, one reason is that you have to iterate the student through several ideas. मतलब उसको क्या है ना, उस पर सोचवाना है, क्या करना है, 5-10 मिनट के लिए make him think on that idea. And once he will think, then his mind will develop, yes or no? Yes or no? You will be forced to think gender, then you will think, अच्छा, what is the reason for gender distrust and gender conflict? Then you will realize that some issues have happened. For example, there was the blue drum that a couple, the woman killed the man and put in a blue drum. Or for example, Raja Indore, what is the name? Raja Avasthi. So now you know that several instances which have been highlighted by social media, they are leading to a gender distrust. Men are afraid of women, thinking what will be the outcomes of. So this is what is the role of social media. Now you're thinking, yeah, you're reading in the solution. It should not be a part of your master material. Then what happens is, even if you read this, ये तुमको चमकेगा ही नहीं कि ये भी एक dimension है. You are seeing it, but when will it चमको? ये strike कब करेगा? When you will get a question and then you're thinking, and for 2 minutes your pen is stopping. Then your mind has, and then what will happen is a slot will open in your mind. And when you'll read the solution, it will hit. कि अरे हाँ, ये तो blue drum और ये राजा अवस्थी की story है. उसके बाद you will see legal framework such as, for example, 498A, and then you will read the newspaper. तो लगेगा अरे हाँ, for example, Domestic Violence Act, which is applicable only to married women and now live-in partners, but it is not gender neutral. Now you will absorb that idea. So what is why even with a limited number of MGB students, you will get a very good rank. And that student will have written all the tests and papers. But if you want कि सर ये सारा कुछ यहाँ कर दीजिए, और उसके बाद क्या होगा, तुम यही टॉपिक पढ़ने में 20 दिन लगा रहे हो, मेरा बच्चा हो गया फेल. My student is failing because इतना बल्कि मटेरियल पढ़ के he is writing the test and he is feeling very good कि वाह शाबाश, ये जो पढ़ा है ये पॉइंट यहाँ लिख दिया. नहीं ऐसा करना है. You listen to people who have been complete latest candidate rank 38. So he said कि AWFG used to happen in FRC. हम क्या करते थे, बिना पढ़े में जाकर पेपर लिखता था, and post facto I would memorize all the points. This is what he has done. This is what I want you to do. I don't want you to prepare everything. You should be given new ideas all the time through the solution. So if somebody says that what is the, you want कि sir basic structure का बहुत अच्छा answer लिखा दो, but that's not what my point is. I want you to get a question is what is the, for example, what is the criticism of basic structure? Or for example, what is the benefit of basic structure? You have never thought that what is the benefit of basic structure. I'm giving you a question. And now in the paper you have not, you will not see, even if I give you an article, you won't absorb it. ऐसे result ऐसे नहीं आएगा. Result ऐसे आएगा ना कि पहले मैंने तुम्हें सोचवाया. Now तुमने सोचना शुरू किया, फिर mind में slot open हुआ. उसके बाद वो slot open, then you read it, then the idea will get inside your mind. But क्या होगा? I give you 1,000 ideas. Now all ideas look equally important. So now you're not able to absorb. जैसे होता है ना prelims के समय इतनी चीजें पढ़ लेते हैं कि लास्ट में पढ़ते भी हैं तो भी दिमाग में नहीं घुसता, क्योंकि 1000 चीजें पढ़ ली है. क्यों है ना? और क्या गेम क्या होना चाहिए, हर चीज के बारे में सोचना चाहिए थोड़ा सा. So what you do is, हम लोग वहाँ पर active recall sheets करते थे, कुछ चीजें करते थे. So what you do is you ask a question that what is the achievement of the basic structure doctrine. Then you will get the solution that it has protected constitution from political mutilation. Every time a government has come to power, it has not eaten away the constitution. Or it has also ensured that, see, whenever any government will come to threat, it will turn left or it will turn right wing. It will turn left wing or right wing. It will turn left wing, remember. It will want to be right wing, but it will turn left wing. You're seeing before election, what sort of move was this? How much? 10,000 rupees to 75 lakh women. That is the problem with the left parties, right? Left parties can only be left. But what is the benefit with others? The minute you think that you are in danger, what do? You start doing social welfare. Left parties can only do social welfare. They can't be neoliberal. They cannot say, let us set up industries and factories. Because whenever you set up industries and factories in any society, there will be a social protest. But you need that development, and only enlightened people can ensure that development to happen. It can either happen through an authoritarian regime, such as it is happening in China, or it can happen in free markets, right? But so what happens is, you pass such a scheme. So if, even coming back to the question like a basic structure, I want you to think that what is his biggest achievement? Then his biggest achievement, you will come to know a very brilliant point, that his biggest achievement is that it has survived. And if it has survived 7 decades of Indian freedom is there, 7 dashak ho gaye, yes or no? So why did the Indian Union survive? The Indian Union survived because the Indian Constitution survived. You see your left and to your right, to your west and to your east. Has the Pakistan Constitution survived? No, it has not. What is the problem in Bangladesh? The Constitution is not satisfying the people. So therefore they think that the system that is created by this Constitution is not acceptable. In Nepal, you have a similar situation. You see all of Africa, wherever newly liberated nations are there. So I want you to think 2 minutes, what is the benefit of basic structure? Then basic structure, biggest contribution, in the end, you will get it when you'll think, then your mind will open, अच्छा इस topic पे भी सोचना, नहीं तो I have given you in basic structure, I will give you 20 pages. अब तुम जाओगे काम से, क्योंकि वो point पढ़ तो लोगे, लेकिन दिमाग में hit नहीं करे, and you want me to do that, which is why some of you will complain कि सर रीडिंग मटेरियल दे दो. बच्चे रीडिंग मटेरियल मेंस का हमेशा इशू बेस्ड और बेसिक और पतला रहेगा, उसके बाद क्वेश्चन से करोगे. मैं अभी भी बताता हूँ, देयर हंड्रेड्स ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हु गॉटन प्रॉपर आईएएस जस्ट बाय डूइंग 2 years एमजीपी एंड एडब्ल्यूएफजी. इतना भी कर लोगे तो ऊपर की रैंक आ जाएगी. इस बार भी शी इज बीन द स्टूडेंट फॉर 2 years. हर सिस्टर इज आल्सो क्लियर द एग्जाम. शी इज आल्सो क्लियर द एग्जाम. शी हैज गॉटन 18th रैंक, 475 मार्क्स इन जीएस. हर सिस्टर इज गॉटन सम लेस, बट ठीक ठाक हो जाएगा. सो पीपल हैव डन दैट. तो ये है. तो सम ऑफ यू आर आस्किंग हाउ टू बैलेंस. मैं कह रहा हूँ एमजीपी में जो बेसिक्स है उसको तैयार करके जाओ. रीड द क्वेश्चन, यू मे राइट, try to, because in the exam you have to develop the ability to write questions that you don't know. Then write, make up your answer. In gender conflict question, you write that this is the problem. This is the problem coming from social media. This is the problem coming from the law that is in place. Then there are judicial pronouncements. Judicial pronouncements, for example, they are saying that the child born out of marriage, whose legal father will be the legal husband of the wife. Now, will it create distrust in marriage or not, or between? So, do you see that how the legal framework and the judicial pronouncements will also hit at the root of marriage? Yes or no? So, if you get a question that what is leading to the breakdown of family system, you are also aware that the Supreme Court, not the current judiciary, but the previous bench said that we want a law on marital rape. Right? They asked the government, please frame a policy on marital rape. Now the government's feeling is that if marital rape, we criminalize it. It is a progressive and liberal policy, no problem. But do you think it will hit at marriage institution or not? A lot of people will be worried if, and it will not be a gender neutral. So a lot of men will not want to marry women, right, on these matters, because it will, and because of this, do you think that such liberal progressive steps will hit at the institution of marriage? Will it not lead to the breakdown of family system? So therefore you start thinking, and you have to correlate what you are reading in the newspaper to the topic. That is what you have to do. Everything that you are reading, you have to correlate to the topic. So once this correlate, when you read this answer in your solution, then it will strike you, अच्छा ऐसे मैंने नहीं सोचा था. That is how you will develop the, see, MDP program is not that you get 100 questions and then you get the solution, and then it doesn't work like that. So people are simply thinking कि ऐसे करना, ऐसे नहीं करना, जो कर रहे हैं उनको भी बता देता हूँ. ऐसे नहीं करना. You have to make the student think that there is a separate dimension that exists. Once his mind is open, then he will simply have the way where he will immediately be able to catch ideas and he will be able to interlink. ये कैपेसिटी आपको भी डेवलप करनी है. तो those of you are asking कि एमजीपी और एसएफजी को कैसे बैलेंस करें. बच्चे, एमजीपी का कोई सिलेबस नहीं है. उसको पढ़ो, जितना थोड़ा बहुत रात भर पढ़ सकते हो, उसके बाद लिखो, और उसके बाद यू फिनिश द टॉपिक. उतने टॉपिक कर लोगे, यू विल क्लियर द एग्जाम विद अ सिंगल डिजिट रैंक. देयर आर सो मेनी पीपल हु हैव डन इट बिफोर. I think that is all. Any other questions that are left? CSAT, the elephant in the room. Yes. CSAT के लिए be very clear. One thing is that you should have solved multiple times previous year questions. But if that is not enough, then please take classes for CSAT. Remember, CSAT का एक unique thing is that you cannot happen that you do CSAT 8 hours a day and 3 hours a day. CSAT is maths. It's an exercise. So try to look for something where you are doing 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hour every day, and for a longer duration. That is what is required for CSAT. You give even 30 minutes, you solve 5 questions of CSAT. See, I always wanted to do in SFG, I wanted to have CSAT in every test, because I know that I will have a test right now in SFG. Have you seen the SFG calendar? उसमें कब है CSAT? हाँ, अब होगा क्या ना कि पहले भी कुछ जो अपने आप को बहुत तेज समझते हैं वो बच्चे कहेंगे I don't need CSAT, और मेरा बहुत अच्छा फाउंडेशन का बच्चा, IIT मंडी का बच्चा फेल किया है, और बाद में पूछा कैसे फेल कर गए, तो क्या CSAT में फेल कर गया, I took it lightly. तो एक चीज़ और है, दोस्त जो ज्वाइनिंग है, प्लीज डू CSAT प्रॉपरली. डोंट थिंक ऑफ स्किपिंग कि मैं बहुत तेज हूँ. मतलब बहुत तेज हो तो यहाँ आओ ही नहीं. मतलब बहुत तेज होते तो इस पिटी पार्टी में नहीं होते कि भाई गड़बड़ा गया है प्रीलिम्स. तेज नहीं है, और ये सब अजम्पशन छोड़ दो कि बहुत तेज है. मतलब एग्जाम इज नॉट फॉर द, तो एक चीज प्लीज इंश्योर दैट फॉर सीसैट व्हाट यू, ये सब छोड़ दो, फॉर सीसैट प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट एवरी alternate Saturday you will have a CSAT test. Yes, one more thing which we have done in SFG is that will ensure that every alternate Saturday we will be having a revision test, which means whatever we have done before we'll do it, and every alternate Saturday we'll be having a CSAT test. I want all of you are doing it, please do the CSAT sincerely. एकदम तेज मत बनना, अच्छे देखो बच्चे, prelims enough tricky है. If I have 5 IPS probationers also ना writing the next attempt, 5 में से 2 बच्चे का prelims नहीं होना है, ठीक है. IPS छोड़ो, 5 IFOS के बच्चे हैं ना, selected बच्चे, वो भी अगर प्रीलिम्स लिखेंगे ना तो 5 में से 2 बच्चे प्रीलिम्स फेल करेंगे. प्रीलिम्स इज चैलेंजिंग, विच मीन्स इट रिक्वायर्स, व्हेन समथिंग इज चैलेंजिंग व्हाट डज इट रिक्वायर? इट रिक्वायर्स डेडिकेटेड टाइम एंड एफर्ट. व्हेन समथिंग इज अ लिटिल, कुछ चीजें हैं ना जिसमें एफर्ट नहीं लगता, कुछ चीजें इसमें एफर्ट, तो डेडिकेटेड टाइम एंड एफर्ट, बी विलिंग टू पुट इट. एंड अगेन आई वांट यू, बच्चा लोग नेक्स्ट 5 months प्लीज गिव योर लाइफ टू प्रीलिम्स, जी जान लगा दो, डू द बेस्ट यू कैन. You have come so far from home not to waste any time. You have not come so far to come this far. And you should never have this reason कि भाई prelims नहीं निकला क्योंकि something else was keeping you busy. You are full-time aspirants. You have left a job. You are claiming to your parents that I've come here for UPSC preparation, and after coming so far, if you are not doing it, then you are doing injustice. तो अगर तुम्हें लग रहा है कि parents की मदद करनी है, तो you do what they have sent you for doing it, or what you have told them. In the end, it's all about keeping your promises. You made a promise, you do it. And when you do SFG, I'm not going to say, see, one more, what may happen is a lot of people will beat you in the competition. So 2-3 things I've told you. If you think that that is a little challenging, and you think that you are not well prepared for SFG or for the level of competition, then एक तो toolkit कर लेके जाना, so that will help you. The other is sprint कर लो and you only do level 2, but then you do sprint. Don't be the one who does neither this nor that. और तीसरा, if you are in doubt with respect to your own discipline, such as if you have reached 3 attempts or more and you have good academic credentials, मतलब जीवन में एक बार कभी भी पढ़ाई की है, तो फिर रेजिडेंशियल के लिए अप्लाई कर दो. इट विल बी द सेम थिंग एंड द सेम पीपल विल बी देयर. कोई अलग नहीं होगा. यहाँ जो टीचर्स मेंटर्स है वहीं वहाँ रहते हैं, और बस इट्स जस्ट अ कैंपस वेयर देयर इज पोल्यूशन, थोड़ा कम पोल्यूशन नहीं है, 75-78 AQI है अभी वहाँ पर, और थोड़ा नेचर में है, एंड द पीपल आर द सेम. डोंट एक्सपेक्ट कि वहाँ जाकर बहुत शांति मिल जाएगी. शांति है वहाँ पर, इट्स अ कैंपस, इज in nature, but that shanti will not be there because the whole competition is actually replicated, maybe in a higher manner, because everybody knows each other. वहाँ पर सब, तो यहाँ पर भागने का ऑप्शन थोड़ा कम रहता है. यहाँ पर क्या 3 दिन नंबर नहीं आया तो चौथे दिन बोलो कि एक X कोचिंग का, Y मटीरियल का, Z प्रोग्राम मैं कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है. वहाँ पर वो ऑप्शंस नहीं रहेंगे, वहाँ पर रहेगा. सो यू विल कम टू नो, एंड बट देन इफ यू गो थ्रू दैट ग्राइंड फॉर लाइक 2-3 months, you will become something. मतलब बच्चे, अभी भी मैं बता रहा हूँ कि पुराने FRC से जो है ना, FRC 1-2, जिसमें बच्चों जिनका नहीं हुआ था 24 में, वो 25 में तुम देखना, उसमें से 2-4 की फोटो लगा दूंगा कि इनका पूछोगे कैसे निकल गया, तो उनका सिर्फ ये कहना, सर जाने के बाद समझ में आ गया कि करना क्या था, उतने साल से पढ़ाई नहीं की थी. Anyway, but you embarked on it 5 months. You do what you are claiming to do. That is, you are claiming to prepare for prelims. And remember that if you do any negligence, and if you do everything, मतलब सारी बात सुनने के बाद, if you keep doing what you have been doing, then you will keep getting what you have gotten. I repeat, if you keep doing what you are doing, then you will keep getting what you are you'll keep getting what you have been getting. So commit yourself fully to one program or to one task. I'm telling you, will clear easily with 120, 130 marks. And of all sorts of poverties, the poverty of prelims marks is the worst one, because it is a completely created. You may be born poor, but यहाँ पर आकर, in a place where you have couple of people in single digits and doubles sitting in the same class in the chairs, और अभी भी देख लेना, इसी क्लास से रैंक 41 से लेकर रैंक 23, रैंक 29, इसी क्लास से निकले, रैंक 27 इसी क्लास से निकले हैं, इन्हीं चेयर्स पर. और मिला भी था तो यही फेलियर सेमिनार्स के बाद ही मिला था. ऐसा कुछ कोई अलग बहुत सक्सेसफुल नहीं थे कि बहुत ऑक्सफोर्ड से पढ़ के आ रहे थे उसके बाद. तो दे हैव बीन वेरी रेगुलर पीपल लाइक यू, एंड इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू पुल योरसेल्फ, देन इट इज you are not doing enough, and it's perfectly all right, but then that has to be a matter of choice. It should not be that you cannot face it. Decide कर लो कि मुझे सिविल्स नहीं करना. It's perfectly all right. लोग उसके बाहर बहुत खुश हैं. There is a world outside it and good. But as far as when it comes to this exam, then do in Rome, do as the Romans do. In this exam, तैयारी वैसे करो जैसे तैयारी होती है. अतरंगी तरीके मत निकालो कि आते समय देखा कि प्रीलिम्स गारंटी 100% नहीं तो 1 लाख कमाए, है ना. कुछ बच्चे इससे भी गड़बड़ाते हैं कि लिखा हुआ है कि प्रीलिम्स गारंटीड सिलेक्शन, अदरवाइज गेट 1 लाख रुपीज. अब वो 1 लाख कमाने में लग गया है. पापा को कह रहा है, पापा एक अच्छी स्कीम आई है, आप भी एडमिशन ले लो, है ना. क्या तो 1 लाख दोनों की जोड़ के 2 लाख। नहीं करना है ये सब। कमिट योरसेल्फ टू डूइंग वन थिंग। आपकी इस क्लास से खूब सारे अंडर 100 में बता रहा हूँ रैंक निकलेंगे, आप ही में से निकलेंगे। रैंक 16 ऑफ फॉरेस्ट सर्विस, ये सब ऐसे ही फर्स्ट रो में है। हमेशा देखता था, मुझे कई बार लगता था कि गड़बड़ कैसे हो रहा है बच्चे का। देखते देखते 6 फॉरेस्ट रैंक में 16 और इंडियन पुलिस सर्विस रैंक 172 वहीं से आ गया। ठीक है, मेंस का सेशन, आई रिमेंबर दैट मैसेज फ्रॉम, इस बार मुझे डर लग रहा था कहीं ये पेपर ना दे। दिस इज नहीं सर, मेंस का सेशन देख लिया, सी सेंट अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ यूट्यूब की, आई वाज वाचिंग योर प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस सेशन, यही वाले सेशन जो अभी ले रहा हूँ। तो बाद में देखा उसी का रैंक 1 आ गया। ठीक है, तो ऐसे ही होता है। आप बच्चे में से काफ़ी सारे रैंक लेकर आए, कुछ होंगे भी रैंक वाले, और जीवन लगा दो बच्चे इसमें। मतलब कमिट योरसेल्फ, दिस इज द एज एंड टाइम, यू डोंट हैव अ डिसेबिलिटी, यू डोंट हैव अ बीमारी, किसी को कोई बहुत मेजर बीमारी भी नहीं है इस समय। दिस इज द एज वेयर यू कैन पुट हार्ड, दिस इज द एज वेयर व्हाट योर माइंड वांट्स योर बॉडी कैन अचीव। इट वॉन्ट हैपन, कोई 50 साल के हो जाओगे तो कुछ ये नहीं होने वाला। योर माइंड वुड वांट समथिंग बट योर बॉडी कैन नॉट अचीव इट। उसके बाद क्या हो जाएगा, कोई मोबाइल फोन लेकर भागा तो कहोगे जाने दो उसको, दौड़ नहीं पाएंगे, है ना। तो डू योर बेस्ट, कमिट योरसेल्फ टू वन टास्क एंड pursue excellence. Pursuit of excellence has to be there. That is all. I wish you all the best. और जी जान लगा दो बिल्कुल, ठीक है। चलो, थैंक यू क्लास।